Good howdy, folks. I'm James Blackburn, filmmaker, actor, and adventure seeker. I live in the American Southwest, and I'm surrounded by breathtaking landscapes and endless possibilities. My passion? Capturing life's beauty through lens and screen. From Red Rock Canyons to Hollywood movie sets, I'm always on the move. Join me on my video adventures as I navigate the wilds of the entertainment industry and the great outdoors. Let's explore together. Welcome to the James Blackburn Experience. Today, we're exploring one of New Mexico's hidden gems, Diablo Canyon Recreation Area just outside Santa Fe. Joining me on this adventure is my good friend Don Ivy, who suggested we tackle this incredible hike. I'm excited to share this experience with him, and I'm glad Don is joining me on this journey. Our mission today: enjoy the stunning winter scenery, get some exercise, and soak up the beauty of nature with great company. The trail takes us just over 3 miles to the Rio Grande, with the return journey making this just over 6 miles round trip. As we hit the trail, I'm reminded of why I love hiking so much. It's not just about the exercise or the scenery, it's also about the sense of adventure, the thrill of discovery, and the joy of sharing it all with a good friend.
All right, folks, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And here we go.
As we make our way through the canyon, we're surrounded by these breathtaking rock formations, and of course, the classic New Mexico blue skies. We're not alone out here. Nope, we've got some rock climbers showing us how it's really done. If they make it look that easy, maybe I'll give it a go. Or, not. I think I'll stick to hiking for now. Known for its dramatic vertical cliffs and stunning scenery, Diablo Canyon is a haven for hikers, climbers, and outdoor enthusiasts alike. Nestled in a beautiful canyon, this area is truly a climber's paradise, with over 100 climbing routes ranging from moderate 5.8s to challenging 5.13s. Diablo Canyon offers some of the best multi-pitch traditional and sport climbing in the state. Whether you're a seasoned pro or a beginner looking to try something new, this is the place to test your skills and take in some jaw-dropping views. The Winter Wall and Solar Cave on the eastern cliffs are just a few of the area's famous routes. And if you're into movies, you might recognize Diablo Canyon. It's been featured in some major Hollywood films like The Missing, 3:10 to Yuma, and even Cowboys and Aliens. With these towering, jagged basalt cliffs, it's no wonder filmmakers have flocked to this spot to capture its cinematic beauty. The area is open year-round, and best of all, there are no fees to explore. If you're planning to spend the night, Diablo Canyon has free primitive camping with 4 walk-in tent sites and 4 car camping spots. Just remember, there are no restrooms, no water, and no trash bins here, so it's all about leaving no trace and packing out everything with you. Whether you're climbing the cliffs or just soaking in the view, Diablo Canyon is an unforgettable experience. So if you're looking for a rugged, scenic adventure in the heart of New Mexico, this is the place to be.
All right, folks, we're maybe a third of a mile from the parking lot, and we're just enjoying this. These rock faces are huge. And you saw in some of the photos here a minute ago, there's some rock climbers back behind us that are just doing multi-pitch routes out here up this big chunky rock. Absolutely awesome. Don and I are hiking down to the Rio Grande today. It's a 3-mile one-way trip, 3 miles back, so we'll be doing about 6 today. But I'm already just blown away how awesome it is down here. And being my first time here, I kind of knew what to expect a little bit, but videos and photos online, they never do it justice. Only when you're here do you feel the true magnificence of a place like this. And look at these classic New Mexico blue skies. Wow. Awesome, guys. All right, folks, with it being January 2025 out here, it is still a little bit of a winter-ish temps out here. At least in the shade, we're feeling it. It's supposed to be a high of 45 today, and in the sun, it feels magnificent. In the shade, it's a little bit chilly still. a little bit crisp, but at the same time, kind of refreshing. And there we are. Here comes the sun. Doo doo doo. Oh boy, does that feel nice. All right, we just came in from that. The canyon is fairly short, but man, is it beautiful. And now here on the other side of me, you will see still more canyon coming up. And being out in the nice warm sun is just feeling amazing right now. Truly good medicine. All right, the canyon is opening up a little wider. We're about 3/4 of a mile from the parking lot, and we're heading down to the river. We'll be there in another hour maybe. I can't believe how cool this place is. We're so lucky we live here.
That fit in my viewfinder.
I know, that's pretty awesome.
As we take a break and refuel, we're reminded that sometimes the best moments in life are the simple ones. Good friends, beautiful scenery, and a sense of adventure. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of daily life, but moments like these help us slow down and appreciate the beauty around us. They remind us that joy isn't always found in the big milestones, but also in the quiet, in-between moments. And sometimes all it takes is a deep breath, a shared laugh, and the open trail ahead. Breathe deep and let the stress melt away. As my fellow YouTuber Hike with Mike always says, nature is indeed good medicine. Check out Hike with Mike on YouTube. He's got a great channel out of Florida.
All right, folks, in case you're wondering how we get shots when we're out here.
This is gonna look done. He's putting it on.
Don has his he has his camera hooked up here with a flexible tripod, and it's wrapped around here. This is a little trick I've learned over the years. By having one of these, you can put it on almost anything, even a tree branch or an unlevel boulder, and yeah, you can get some cool shots without having a full tripod with you, of course. All right, folks, we're at mile 2.6 from the parking lot, a little less than a half mile down to the Rio Grande. We decided to stop and take a little break here, have some water, some snacks, and play with the cameras. Shadows over Camelot. All right, here we are, folks. Continuing our hike. We're less than a half mile from the Rio Grande. So we'll be there in a few more minutes, and stay tuned because it's going to be so beautiful. It will literally blow your mind. All right, folks, as we're hiking in, we have been stopping occasionally to play around with the cameras. And there's Don up there. He wants to experiment with his new camera. He's going to do a shot in 4K, and we'll get to see it later. So it's going to be awesome.
I did it in 24 frames per second. I wonder if that's the best way to go.
All right, folks, continuing our hike down to the Rio Grande. It's going to be great. It's a beautiful day. It's sunny out, and I'm with one of my best friends in the world. It just doesn't get any better than this. The only thing that would make this better is if we were staying out here overnight and having a campfire experience. But it's too cold for that, so today is day hike only. But stay tuned because the river is coming up in just a few minutes. All right, folks, we're just a little over 3 miles in. We can see the river from here, so it's really exciting. We're gonna get down there and get some nice beauty shots, and I love a good river. The Rio Grande is very special. All right, folks, we're even closer to the water now, and it's just a beautiful sunny day. Sun feels warm, almost no wind. I'm with my good buddy Don. I'm honestly just happy to be here, and nature is indeed good medicine. Wow, that is awesome. Yeah, it's been cold when the river starts to freeze over like that. This is awesome, man. We made it. We finally made it.
And then we are rewarded with this incredible sight, the Rio Grande, sparkling in the winter sun. Cue dramatic music. Seriously, it's hard not to feel like you've just won the nature lottery when you hit a view like this. This is what it's all about. A sense of accomplishment, the thrill of discovery, and of course, the perfect shot.
What a nice star shot.
Water flowing under the ice here. Kind of neat. Now this looks like a nice camp spot right here. Up above the river, flat and sandy. Somebody already had a fire pit here. Yeah, this would be a really awesome spot to camp out for the night. Wouldn't it?
As I sat there listening to the sound of the river, I'm reminded that life is about balance, taking time to appreciate the beauty around us, while also challenging ourselves to explore and discover new wonders. It's a delicate balance, but one that's essential to living a happy, healthy, and fulfilling life. As I continue relaxing by the river, there's this feeling of gratitude for the whole experience. Incredible views, amazing friends, and some light cardio. What more could you ask for? This hike reminded me that life is full of wonders, big and small, and that the best way to enjoy them is with great company. Well, that, and maybe a good pair of hiking boots. Thanks for joining us on this episode of the James Blackburn Experience. Until next time, get out there and explore. And remember, life is an adventure. Make the most of it.
Alright folks, we are going to wrap up today's video here at the Rio Grande. It's a beautiful day. Had a great hike, about 3.5 miles to get here. Now we're going to hike back, but I'm not going to show the hike back, so we're going to wrap it up here by saying my usual, and that is, love, love, hate, hate, take care of each other.
Remember, folks, life is beautiful if you know where to look. So keep your mind, your eyes, and your heart open. It just might lead you somewhere special. Please check out my channel for over 1,000 additional video adventures. Thanks for watching.
Purple Martians. Right, that's perfect. I love it.
Good howdy, folks. I'm James Blackburn, filmmaker, actor, and adventure seeker. I live in the American Southwest, and I'm surrounded by breathtaking landscapes and endless possibilities. My passion? Capturing life's beauty through lens and screen. From Red Rock Canyons to Hollywood movie sets, I'm always on the move. Join me on my video adventures as I navigate the wilds of the entertainment industry and the great outdoors. Let's explore together. Greetings, fellow adventurers. Welcome back to the James Blackburn Experience. Today, my good friend Don and I are tackling the Eye of the Sandias Loop Trail, a stunning journey through the rugged beauty of New Mexico's Sandia foothills. So grab your hiking boots, pack some water, and let's hit the trail.
All right, good howdy, folks. Today's gonna be a fun one. We are hiking up this ridge over here to the right to find and explore the Sandias, but we're gonna find the Eye of the Sandias. So stay tuned, because it's gonna be wonderful. All right, folks, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and we're a few steps into it and looking forward to the rest. It's a beautiful day here in New Mexico in the Sandia Mountains. All right, folks, I don't know what temperature it is right now, but it feels really nice and warm out. And it's probably going to get up in the mid-60s today, which is feeling really great because the last few weeks it's been winter here in New Mexico, and it's nice to have a spring sort of day. So we're enjoying it.
We begin our journey at the Copper Trailhead, located at the eastern end of Albuquerque's Copper Avenue. This is a well-known access point for several Sandia trails, but today we're sticking to the Eye of the Sandias Loop.
Okay, I came prepared to shed a layer today because I feel like I was going to get hot. I am starting to feel hot already.
The trail offers a little bit of everything. Steep climbs, scenic ridgelines, and of course, the famous painting known as the Eye of the Sandias. It's noon, but I can tell this is going to be a great hike. The fresh mountain air, the cool breeze, it doesn't get much better than this. Alright, let's start making our way up.
All right, folks, we're to the part where we're really going to start going up now. So you might hear some huffing and puffing, at least for me.
Right off the bat, this trail lets you know it means business. The first section involves a gradual incline, followed by a series of switchbacks leading to the saddle just below the power lines. These switchbacks can be a bit of a leg burner, but the views get better with every step. You can really feel the elevation gain already. We're sitting at about 6,000 feet here at the base, and by the time we're done, we'll be over 7,000 feet of elevation. Gotta pace ourselves. If you're hiking this trail, make sure you have plenty of water and wear good hiking shoes. Some sections are pretty rocky and loose. Alright, we've made it to the saddle. From here, we get our first sweeping view of the city of Albuquerque behind us and the towering Sandia ridgeline ahead. Now that we've made it up the saddle, the trail follows the ridgeline, offering some fantastic panoramic views. To our left, we see the city sprawling out into the desert, and to our right, the rugged peaks of the Sandia Mountains stretch into the distance. I love how this part of the trail feels so remote. Even though we're close to Albuquerque, it really feels like we're deep in the wilderness. One of the best things about the Sandias, you don't have to go far to find a real adventure. Just a short drive from the city, and suddenly you're surrounded by nature, with nothing but the sound of the wind and birds for company.
All right, folks, down there you can see houses in the city, and the parking lot is down there somewhere too. So we've come up a pretty good distance already, but we are at a section right now where we're going to be going up for a while. So I'm already starting to get out of breath because of the going up, but I'm happy to be here. It's a beautiful day.
Keep an eye out for red-tailed hawks, ravens, and even the occasional golden eagles soaring above these ridges. The Sandias are home to all kinds of wildlife, including mule deers, bobcats, and even black bears, though they tend to keep to themselves. Alright, time to push a little further. I'm making my way to the highest point on this loop, and from there, I'll get an even better view of the entire Sandia Range. This section is no joke, but man, look at that view. Totally worth the effort. From here, we can see all the way to Mount Taylor in the west and the Rio Grande snaking through the valley.
All right, folks, along the way as you're going up this trail to the eye of the Sandias, there are some little turnoffs like this that just have really beautiful overlooks, and it's worth getting up here and just checking it out because it's nice to be out in the mountains and above the city, not down in it. Look at that. Wow. That's awesome.
If you're ever looking for a rewarding day hike with some amazing views, this is the one. This trail is about 5 miles total, split between the hike in and the loop out. But let me tell you, it's 5 miles that will test your endurance. The elevation gain kicks in, and it doesn't let up. Step after step, you're climbing, winding through rocky paths and steep inclines, feeling the burn in your legs and the altitude in your lungs. We're taking on an incredible, rugged adventure through the Sandia Mountain foothills. This is no easy stroll through the park. This hike is tough, rewarding, and definitely not for beginners. But with the right preparation and a good friend by your side, it's an experience worth every step. I'm happy to be joined today by my good friend Don. We've known each other over 15 years, and at this point, we're more like family. Through every challenge, every adventure, we've built a bond that only miles on the trail can forge. And today, we'll put that experience to the test. On a hike like this, breaks are essential. We always make time to stop, refuel, and hydrate. Water and snacks aren't just nice to have, they're necessary. The high desert climate can sneak up on you, and staying energized keeps you sharp.
Cheers.
I'm gonna go through a lot more water.
Yeah. I've only drank twice on this trip so far that we've done this, and we're only about 1.5 miles in, but
Well, at least on the hike out. Going in, as long as it's flat, I don't think so much. But if I'm puffing,
yeah,
it just dries your mouth out.
that's when I feel it too.
Now that I've soaked in the views, it's time for me to make my way up even further. The ascent will take me through beautiful sections of the trail lined with juniper trees and scattered boulders. It's a little easier on the legs, but we still need to watch our footing. Some of these loose rocks can be tricky, but man, what a hike. Every turn has had something new to see. That's what I love about the Eye of the Sandias Loop. It's got variety. Steep climbs, ridge walks, historical landmarks, and unbeatable views. Definitely one of my favorites. Route finding skills are a must out here. The trail isn't always well marked, and losing your way is easier than you'd think. A compass can be a lifesaver, helping you stay on track when the landscape starts to look the same. We always pack a solid first aid kit too, because out here, you need to be ready for anything. Finding the Eye of the Sandias isn't straightforward. It takes patience, a good sense of direction, and a bit of luck. Once you've reached it, the payoff is incredible. A stunning, almost hidden formation in the rocks. A reminder of the beauty and mystery these mountains hold.
Wow, what a view. Absolutely awesome. Oh, that's right. We're on the right trail. I remember this little section right here. It's like a little cave you have to go through to get to the other side. It's a little tight, especially if you're tall.
Places like this are special. They demand respect and care. That's why we always follow leave no trace principles. Pack out everything we bring in and leave the land as we found it, and make sure future generations get to experience this untouched beauty. It's not just about the adventure, it's about stewardship.
That last little stretch of going up got me. Whew. All right, we're up here a ways in elevation, especially from where we started. Whew. Feeling it a little bit, but loving every minute. All right, this is one heck of a beautiful hike. Only in the 60s today, but man, when you're hiking up, you feel the heat of the sun, even when it's only 65, because the elevation, it's no joke. You get out here and you feel the going up right away. Doesn't matter if you're young, old, good shape or not. Gravity is fighting us on this hike. But really happy to be here.
This was another unforgettable day on the trail. Tough, but rewarding. Just like the best things in life. And I wouldn't want to do it with anyone else. Don, my friend, here's to 15 years of adventure and many more ahead.
Somebody left a message behind. Look at that. All you need is love. All together now. Ooh, Roadrunner. Running through the mountains. Man, this last section up to the Eye of the Sandias, it's a ton of going up. And it's fairly steep. Whew. I'm out of breath. Oh man. But I'm almost there. Almost there. All right, the change of elevation, it got Don he decided to take a break at the bottom of this hill. I'm continuing on, and I'll be honest with you, change of elevation's messing with me too. You can hear it, but I'm almost to the eye of the Sandia, and I have to get there because that's the whole point of today's hike, is to get to there and show you guys the journey there, and then what it looks like when I'm there. So stay tuned, because a few more minutes and I'll be there. I tell you what, this is a fairly rugged trail with a lot of going up. I've already changed about 1,000 feet of elevation. With the elevation change and the going up, man, I'm feeling it. Really feeling it, but I'm happy to be here still, tired or not. I found it. There's the eye of the Sandia. All right. All right. Oh man. Whew. It's about 2.5 miles maybe to get to this thing, somewhere around there. I don't know the story behind the Eye of the Sandias. Online it says it was painted sometime back in the 1960s, and people just keep touching it up, so it's kind of become somewhat of a landmark, and other people have added other artwork up here too over the years. Not on the same rock as the Sandia Eye, but on some of the other rocks nearby. I'll see if I can find some of those for you too. But yeah, finally made it. What a welcome sight. That's quite a healthy hike to get in here. Tell you what. All right, there it is. The Eye of the Sandias. Whew. All right.
And here it is, the famous Eye of the Sandias. This mysterious eye is painted onto the rock face right here along the trail. No one knows for sure who created it, but it's believed to have appeared sometime in the 1960s. Some say it holds mystical powers, while others believe it's just graffiti left by hikers. Either way, it's pretty cool. It feels like a hidden secret of the mountains. It's amazing to think how many people have passed by this exact spot, gazing at this strange and captivating image. I pause in the shade of a boulder, taking a breath, sipping some water, and enjoying a quick snack. The Eye of the Sandias is just a few feet away from me, but for now, I'm soaking in the peace of this place. It's a moment of calm in the midst of the adventure.
But we're going to wrap up the video here because my battery on my camera here is dangerously low. I forgot to grab my battery pack to recharge it. So that was the hike to the Eye of the Sandias. Beautiful, wonderful day here in New Mexico on February 2nd, 2025, Groundhog's Day. Appreciate being able to be out here and do this awesome hike. And as usual, love, love, hate, hate. Take care of each other.
Well, folks, that wraps up another amazing video adventure. Today's journey through the Eye of the Sandias loop had it all. Steep climbs, breathtaking views, and a touch of mystery with the famous painting. It's hikes like these that remind me why I love exploring the great outdoors so much. Whether you're an experienced hiker or just looking for a weekend escape, this trail offers something for everyone. The mix of challenging ascents, peaceful ridgelines, and the stunning landscapes make it a must-do for anyone visiting New Mexico. And hey, if you ever find yourself out here, take a moment to stop, breathe, and just appreciate the beauty around you. These trails have stories to tell. You just have to listen. If you enjoyed this hike, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an adventure. I'd also love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let me know what trails you'd like to see next. Thanks for coming along with me on this journey. Until next time, keep exploring, stay safe, and we'll see you on the next adventure. Remember, folks, life is beautiful if you know where to look. So keep your mind, your eyes, and your heart open. It just might lead you somewhere special. Please check out my channel for over 1,000 additional video adventures. Thanks for watching.
Purple Martians. Alright, that's perfect. I love it.
Ah, the great outdoors. Crisp mountain air filling your lungs. Wide open skies stretching farther than the eye can see. And, best of all, the perfect excuse to ignore your email, your phone, and just about everything else for 24 glorious hours. Welcome to my second solo camping adventure, this time near the San Pedro Parks Wilderness in New Mexico. A place where rolling meadows meet dense forest, and the silence is only broken by the occasional coyote howl or the whisper of the wind through the trees. Join me as I hike, explore, and camp alone in this beautiful place. From rugged roads to cozy campfires, it's all part of the adventure. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this solo camp video, your front row ticket to the wild. Good howdy, folks. I'm James Blackburn, filmmaker, actor, and adventure seeker. I live in the American Southwest, and I'm surrounded by breathtaking landscapes and endless possibilities. My passion? Capturing life's beauty through lens and screen. From Red Rock canyons to Hollywood movie sets, I'm always on the move. Join me on my video adventures as I navigate the wilds of the entertainment industry and the great outdoors. Let's explore together. March 1st, 2025. I set off from Albuquerque. Fueled by a sense of adventure, the adventure really began at the moment that I pointed my vehicle north on Highway 550. It's about a 90-mile drive to Cuba, New Mexico, but it feels like traveling through a time-lapse of landscapes, leaving the city behind, while mesas and wide-open desert plains start to dominate the horizon. The road stretches out like a ribbon across the earth, and every few miles the scenery shifts just enough to keep your eyes glued to the window. You get these long, open stretches where it's just you, the sky, and the road. The traffic thins out, the pace slows down, and you realize how big and wild New Mexico really is. Up next comes Forest Road 70. At first, it lured me in with smooth dirt, almost too easy, like the calm before the storm. But that didn't last long. The smooth dirt gave way to more dirt and gravel, and soon a cloud of dust rose behind me, following like a loyal companion I didn't ask for. The next 4.5 miles were slow, rugged, and loud. The crunch of tires over rock echoed through the forest, mixing with the occasional rattle of gear in the back of the truck. The deeper I went, the quieter it became. Cell service disappeared. The sounds of civilization vanished. Finally, after weaving through the trees and scanning every pull-off like a treasure map, I found it. A campsite, quiet, tucked neatly into the tall pines, where the air was heavy with that unmistakable pine scent. The kind of smell that makes you breathe deeper without even realizing it. The wind brushed softly through the branches above, creating a low, natural hum that made the whole place feel alive. All right, folks, after a few miles of driving down the dirt road, I finally got to a spot that I really like. And there's some snow here, which is great because I did want a winter camp. I don't think anybody else is going to be out here tonight. So this is going to be great. I'm going to have a whole wilderness all to myself. All right, there's the truck. This was the first spot that I kind of thought would be nice. As you can tell, the snow is really spotty. We did not get a ton of it this year. So any place in the shade has snow. Any place in the sun does not. But this is a sweet spot right here. You can see it's got a good view. It's already got a nice fire pit. Look at that. It's like the perfect camp spot. All right, back to the truck. And like I said, I wanted some snow in the shot, but you guys have seen the snow. You know it's winter up here. There's snow on the ground. Got the truck all parked here. So I'm going to stay up here somewhere. I just like this spot. It's level. There is some snow nearby. And then the campsite right here with the fire pit. Look at that beauty. And even though I have a wood stove for my tent, I am going to sit outside tonight and enjoy this view and have a campfire and camp ring. This is breathtaking, absolutely outstanding. And another thing I really like about it is this is a secondary road off the main road. I don't know if you can see it, but the main road is right down there. It goes down over there, you can kind of see it. And then back over that way. But right down over here somewhere is a turn off the main road that came back here to where I'm at now. And that was a good find because, I mean, this spot is outstanding. I almost think I might come back to this one again in the future. But okay, what do you say we get setting up the truck here, or getting the truck emptied out, I mean, and taking care of business every day. All right, folks, so on the inside here, I have a big tarp. There's a reason for that, because driving down these dusty roads, back of the truck will get dusty, as well as your gear. So under the tarp, I have totes and dry sacks and everything else that you might need for camping. So we're gonna get all this stuff unloaded here and start getting it sorted, and here in a little bit, we'll start getting the gear set up. Please stay tuned. All right, got the truck pretty empty. This stays in here, it's charging, ready to go. In case I get a dead battery, I can jump myself. Waters will stay in here because it's in the shade. But I got all the gear out right here. And I'm gonna start going through stuff and thinking about getting set up here. Well, it's still early in the day. You can see I got a table over there. That'll have a tablecloth on it here in a little bit, and some, you know, kitchen sort of items will go on there. And yeah, so here we are. All right, table set up with the tablecloth on it, or in this case, it's a rug that I use for that. Got all my food and first aid items here, as well as a garbage can. And now we're gonna go over here. I hung up a thermometer on the tree in the shade. We're gonna get a true reading of what temperature it is out right now. So there you go. 56 degrees currently. Feels pretty good, actually. It's a good temperature for working. As you can see, there's definitely cold enough to be enough snow up here at night, although this stuff's melting off pretty quickly, but it's going to be here for a few more weeks, I'm sure, before it's all gone. I think maybe it's time now for some lunch, some liquids, a little breakage, and then tent and wood stove will be next. It was perfect, peaceful, almost too peaceful. You know, the kind of spot that feels so secluded you can't decide if you've just discovered paradise or the opening scene of a low-budget horror movie. Either way, it was my piece of real estate for the night, and I was going to enjoy every moment. Areas near the San Pedro Park's wilderness isn't all about sheer cliffs and dizzying ledges. It's about rolling meadows where the grass whispers in the breeze, and forests so thick they dampen every footstep. A hidden gem of the Santa Fe National Forest. At 10,000 feet, it's literally breathtaking.
Good howdy, folks. Welcome to San Pedro Park's wilderness. I might not be in the boundary, but I'm very, very close to it. What do I have with me, you ask? Well, this is a hot tent. Brand new. Took it out at home once to kind of check it out, make sure all the parts were there, and I'm going to set it up. It's my first hot tent experience. So I'm going to set it up around in here, and we'll get this thing set up first, and then I'll introduce you to the wood stove that I got as well. Now, if you're wondering where I got these things, well, a lot of people think this is a dirty word. I don't personally. I think it's okay. Temu. I bought this tent for $109 on Temu, and here in a little bit I'll show you the wood stove. That cost $97. Neither one of them are top of the line, the best gear out there, but from what I understand, I saw somebody else online that has the same tent and the same wood stove, and they gave it a pretty high rating considering how little it costs to buy these things. So here in just a minute, we're going to set up on some time lapse of the tent.
Of course, no solo winter camping trip is complete without testing out some new gear.
But yeah, this is the tent. It actually was a pretty easy setup. There's a hole right there. There's a piece that will go on that for the wood stove here in a little bit. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look inside.
I brought along my new hot tent, designed for cold weather camping with a wood stove inside. The first setup, well, let's just say there was a learning curve. Poles needed a little convincing, stakes had a mind of their own, and I spent a few minutes puzzling over the instructions like it was a 3D jigsaw puzzle. But once everything clicked into place, the tent stood tall and sturdy, a little fortress against the chill.
All right, folks, this is the inside of the tent once it's set up. You can see it has no floor. That's an option that you have in here to camp without a floor if you want. However, it comes with a floor, and I'll attach that inside here in just a few minutes. But yeah, looks pretty comfortable and nice. Pretty excited about getting to stay in here for the night. Pretty happy with it so far. Okay, this is what the tarp looks like rolled up for the floor. But when you unfold it, you'll see it's two different colors. This is black parts we're sleeping on. This is for the wood stove. It's some sort of fire-proof material that the wood stove sits on top of. So we're gonna put this inside and see how it goes.
I was impressed. For a first-time setup, it was intuitive, the material felt solid, and the design was thoughtful. Easy to assemble, even solo, and definitely capable of keeping me warm throughout the long winter night.
All right, here's with the floor all hooked into place. Looking good. The tent's a little smaller than I imagined, but it's still pretty decent size. It's gonna get a lot smaller when the wood stove goes in here, but yeah, I do like the fact that there's a cool vent over here, but you can also close that flap down if you need to. On the other side, no vent, but that's fine. Each end has a door, which is kind of cool. So we're gonna get that one open up too and start getting some air going through here. But yeah, all in all, I'm pretty happy with the purchase so far. It's a cool little tent. All right, folks, I'm gonna introduce you to the wood stove. It's in this cardboard box, which is padded with foam. That's why I left it in here. I thought this would transport it nicer than just letting it lay out in the back of the truck. But it's got some nifty instructions with it. Kind of shows you how to set it up. It's got this grate here, which is going to go inside. This thing on the bottom is the piece of glass that will go in the front door. And then you have the wood stove itself. This little piece here in the middle is the round thing in here that goes in this hole. And then the wood stove itself, let's take it out and give you a quick look at it. All right, so it has legs on the bottom down here that do stand up to make it a little higher off the ground. You can see the front door here and the vent and the other side. Everything for the pipes and everything are on the inside right now. They're all packed in here behind this foam. So I'll get all that set up here in a little bit. Also has these handy dandy little shelves on the side, which is kind of neat. So when I get this a little closer to being set up, I'll show you what it looks like with the feet extended and stuff. But I think it's a pretty good looking little wood stove for $97. It's not huge and I won't burn anything big in it, but I think it'll do the job. All right, still need to get the rest of the pipe up and through the hole, and that's coming really soon. I have to cut a hole in the fire thing that goes on the top. It doesn't come with that, so that's the next project coming up for that. All right, this is the piece that goes in the hole that the stove pipe goes through. So what I'm going to do is take this pipe, I'm going to put it about dead center. From what I saw online, that's about the right thing to do, and then we're going to draw a circle around it. And then we'll make the circle just a tad smaller when we cut it, so the pipe goes in there nice and tight and we don't get any leakage. So there you go. Nice little circle on there. We're ready to start cutting. All right, folks, I think the tent is 100% set up and the wood stove as well. Let's go take a quick look inside. I have to get all my sleeping gear and stuff in here still, but that's coming soon. Stove looks really nice back there. And then here on the top, you'll see where the stovepipe came out, where I cut a hole in the thing for the pipe to go through. And I did read online that they said a spark arrestor is a good thing if you have a spark pop out. So I made a homemade spark arrestor here with an old strainer from the kitchen that I wasn't using anymore that was pretty much trashed. So I made this out of it. That should keep the sparks from getting out too far and just let smoke through. So yeah, pretty excited about it. Let's step back and take another quick look here. The whole setup. Yeah, that's sweet. That is a sweet setup right there.
By the time I had the stove set up inside, I realized that the hot tent wasn't just a piece of equipment. It was a reliable companion for the adventure ahead. The walls should hold the heat in beautifully, and the simple setup left me with more time to enjoy the wilderness instead of wrestling with fabric and poles.
All right, so now I have the tent, the bedding set up, the wood stove set up, everything in there is ready to go. I'm gonna get on my my trusty work gloves here, and it's time to wander around and find some firewood. Now I need 2 piles of firewood that are different from one another. One's gonna be for the campfire pit back here, because I do want to experience that tonight, so I can have a little bit bigger logs out there. And the other pile of wood's gonna be just for the wood stove, so it's gonna be little short, thinner sort of twigs, smaller branches, and I'll make that pile inside the tent. The other pile will be back here by the fire pit. So let's do it.
All right, folks, it's a little later in the day. I've been out gathering firewood for a while. I think I got enough to get me through the night. It's still beautiful out. It has dropped down from 56 degrees to 51, but I haven't noticed it because I've been so active that I'm actually a little bit hot. But yeah, almost ready to go. Why don't we go over and take a look at the piles of wood that I got. All right, here's the fire pit that was already here. It's a pretty good pit. I've already got it stocked up down there ready to go. And I got a pile of wood over here that I'm gonna saw through some of these bigger ones, and then I'll have a bunch of logs for tonight to last me as long as I want, pretty much. I know it's not a huge pile, but I cut those things in half. They're gonna be big logs. Oh, here's another. Here's a bonus log. So yeah, that's what I have for over here. I'm not planning a super long campfire tonight at this spot, but enough to enjoy just being outdoors. And you know, camping for me means campfire. I really prefer a campfire experience when I'm out here. Okay, over to the tent. All right, let's go inside. You can see I got my bedding on the left all ready to go. Over here I have a tote that I'm using as a table, my backpack full of things that I need while I'm in here, and then my pile of wood near my wood stove. Now I'll probably scoot that a little bit further away once I get a fire going in there, but that's plenty of wood. That should get me through the whole night without any issues. And once I fall asleep, the thing's gonna burn out anyway, so.
Camping solo is a unique kind of adventure. There's a rhythm to it. Waking up to the quiet, moving through the forest with only your own footsteps and thoughts for company. Every decision is yours. When to hike, when to rest, when to light a fire. At first, the solitude can feel a little intense. You notice every sound, the crack of a branch, the rustle of an animal, the whisper of the wind through the trees. But over time, it becomes meditative. You learn to read the landscape, to anticipate the weather, to enjoy the small victories, like a campfire that finally catches, or a hot meal in the cold. Being alone near a place like San Pedro Park's wilderness also brings a sense of freedom. No schedules, no distractions, just you, the forest, and the endless sky above. By the end of the day, I realized that solo camping isn't just about survival or adventure. It's about connecting with nature and somehow connecting with yourself.
All right, folks, fast forward to about 4:30 in the afternoon, and we've dropped down from 56 earlier to 49 now. It's definitely getting a little later in the day. You can see the sun is a little bit lower in the sky. Pretty soon, sun will be setting, probably within the next hour. See the long shadows going on here. I'm glad I got everything prepped and set up and ready to go. I just got to get the campfire going and the wood stove fire going at some point to make sure that I do proper winter camping out here, because it's 49 at 4:30. It's probably going to drop down in the 20s, maybe even the teens tonight, so it's going to be chilly. I got to be ready for that. All right, earlier when I was up at camp, just kind of relaxing and chilling out, I did see a truck go by finally on the road. It was a red pickup truck, and that's the only vehicle I've seen out here all day. I've been out here since about 11 a.m. It's about 4:30 now, and one vehicle went by. I don't know if they're heading back to camp or if they're just doing a day trip or a loop. I haven't seen them come back, so I'm still out here alone at the moment. All right, out here soaking up the last rays of the sunshine while it's still got a little bit of warmth left. It's starting to get cold. The wind is definitely getting chilled. Definitely a classic New Mexico blue skies out here right now. This is awesome. Look how beautiful that is. And these pine trees are big. I mean, look at this thing. It's going up and up and up and up. So it's a nice spot to camp for the night. And, you know, I'm really looking forward to getting that wood stove going in the tent later. I think that's going to be a really cool part of the experience. So. Okay, it's almost 5 o'clock now, so it's dipped down to 48. I know when the sun goes down, this temperature is going to drop too. But I feel like I don't want to start that wood stove till I'm ready to get in the tent, because I want to enjoy some time by the campfire for a while. And then when I get in here, I'll work on getting that going, and we'll see how it goes. I'm excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. I tell you, I think this is going to be comfy and cozy tonight.
Of course, no camping trip is complete without a campfire. Getting my campfire started, a true test of patience. Damp wood hissed, matches fizzled, and I crouched there, squinting through the smoke, wondering if the survival shows had lied to me. Finally, blaze. The fire snapped to life with a pop and crackle, the smell of wood smoke curling into the cold air. The heat rolled outward, warm against my face, while the mountain air nipped at my back.
All right, that red truck that came in a few hours ago was heading out over there on the road. So I am literally out here alone now. I don't think there's anybody else camping out here right now, and I got the forest to myself, which is exciting and fun and a little intimidating and scary, because you're really dependent on yourself out here right now when you're the only person out here. Now, originally I had planned on camping with friends. Unfortunately, they had to cancel. And it's understandable, things come up and happen. I really wanted to go, so I decided, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and solo camp it and make it my official second solo camp of my life. First one was last year in September up in the Jemez Mountains, and that was pretty awesome. And this one's also turned out to be really cool. And later, when it gets really cold out, I'll be in that tent with that wood stove going, and boy, is that going to feel nice. And you can see my truck is parked pretty close by. That's a little safety net, being able to car camp and be, able to have your vehicle nearby, just in case, for whatever reason, you need to leave quickly. Pine cone fell out of the tree just now. I thought maybe a squirrel did it, but I think the pine cone just fell out of the tree on its own. It was a weird noise up above, like a little pop or a click, and then hit the ground. I saw it. That was pretty cool. It might have even showed up on camera. So nature is happening all around me. I hear bird calls. Sun's getting ready to set. You really can't go wrong. This is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right, fast forward to 5:30 p.m. now, and you can see the sun is definitely setting behind the mountain. In a few minutes, we'll be in no sun, and then the temperature is really going to drop. So speaking of temperature, what is it right now? It's down to 45, which is still very nice out, but it's only 5:30, so the prediction on the forecast said a low of 19 here tonight. That's probably going to happen. But I'm ready. I got a nice campfire stocked over here and going. And here in a little bit, when it gets dark out and starts to get cold, I'll crawl into this tent and get something going in that wood stove. All right, folks, it's about 45 minutes after sunset, and I've been sitting here and relaxing for a little while, and down behind me, the mountain goes down quite a ways to like a creek. So there's kind of a canyon-ish sort of shape there. And I heard a pack of coyotes. They were hooping and hollering down there. I think they were on the hunt. So it's just a quick reminder to me that I'm not here really alone. There may be no people nearby, but there's critters that still live out here. So I made sure I packed away all the food properly into the truck. Don't want it anywhere near my tent. And this thing is dying out. I gotta get it going again. This little fire blowing stick that I got, really awesome. Helps you get right down to the root of the fire where all the hot coals are at without having to get your face too close and get all burned up, you know. So here we go. Almost headlamp time.
Sparks floated forward like fireflies, disappearing into the dark sky. I stayed by the fire for hours, listening to its rhythm, letting it warm not just my hands, but my spirit. When night fell, the sky opened up. No glow of city lights, just endless stars. Coyotes howled in the distance. An elk bugled far off, and the silence between those sounds was almost louder than the noise. I soaked it all in. The day was sunny and cool, hovering around 56 degrees Fahrenheit. The night dropped down just below freezing, the kind of cold that makes your breath hang in the air. Perfect for firing up my wood stove and bundling into a sleeping bag, and occasionally questioning my life choices. It's cold out here. What was I thinking? I could be at home sleeping in total comfort. Well, for me personally, I love a good challenge, and sleeping out in the wilderness is worth it every time, even when it's cold.
Boy, it looks cozy and comfy in there with the light on here when it's getting dark. I'm not quite ready to go in yet, but when I do, it'll be a test run of the wood stove for the first time. So I'm expecting there to be some smoke in the tent for a little bit before I get it dialed in, but I think I'm ready to get it going once I get in there. All right, folks, we fast forward now to 6:45 p.m. It has dropped down to 35 out here, where it was a high of 56 earlier, so we've lost 21 degrees, and it's not even 7 o'clock yet. So yeah, it's going to get cold tonight. But here in a little bit, I am going to head in the tent and get that wood stove going. But for now, I am just hanging out here by this fire, and I'm going to stay out here till this burns down because I'm really enjoying it, and I want to make sure that it's safe before I step away from it too. I'm definitely tired after all the work of getting here today and setting up and the wood gathering, and you know, this is the oldest I've ever been. I'm still getting used to it. But look how cozy and nice that looks in there. Can't wait to get in there in a little bit, get that wood stove going and see what temperature we can get inside the tent. Because it's 35 out here right now, and it's going to get colder. But I guess we'll find out here in a little bit. All right, folks, I did not show me starting the fire because it was a lot of work to get this thing going. As you can see, looks like it's officially cooking pretty good. I got the fan on top up here that's heat activated, so it's working. The smoke that was in here is starting to blow out finally. And then let's go outside and take a look at the piping. It's hard to see, but there is smoke coming out of that pretty good. Since this is the maiden voyage, I'm keeping them pretty small. I'm not letting a big fire get going in there. But I do want it to become an official fire, and it's struggling still a little bit right now, so let's see what else we can do to help it.
First attempt, smoke. Second attempt, more smoke. Plus some muttering that thankfully no one heard. Third try, success. The stove glowed red, pine logs humming as they burned. The sharp scent of resin filled the tent. Slowly the icy air gave way to the cozy warmth.
All right, everything seems to be working. It's still a little smoky in here, but most of it's blown out. It was really bad when the fire first started, but now seems like it's okay. We'll keep feeding it some tiny little things here. Keep it alive. I have the screen open on the other end. The door's open down here, and then the screen down here is completely open as well. So I'm making sure that I'm trying to not do anything that's gonna harm me, and have my carbon monoxide detector right here. I tested it earlier, it works, and it has not gone off yet, so we're in good shape. This little fan up here rules because it's heat activated, and I can feel it blowing the heat this direction. I bet it's way warmer in here now, even with the doors open at both ends, than it is outside at the moment. Okay, so at 7:30, it's saying 33 degrees outside, so that's 1 degree above freezing. So it is going to dip down tonight. We are going to go here into the tent though, and bring the thermometer in there and just see, you know, what the temperature difference is. Wood stove seems to be working great. It's drawing all the smoke out of the pipe like it's supposed to. I'm loving it. I tell you what, man, you open that door to put more wood in, and the smoke pours out. So I had to get outside for a second to get some air. It clears out pretty quick though, especially with that fan on, but man, whew. All right, so the thermometer there on the sleeping bag is reading 41, I think. So it's 33 outside, 41 in here. The wood stove's not quite cranking yet, so I bet we can get it up to 50 or 60 in here easily by the time we get that thing fully established. I don't remember what YouTube video I saw that mentioned these heat activated fans, but this thing is awesome. As soon as the stove got heated up, it just started blowing the hot air down this direction, and anytime there's a little bit of smoke when you open the door, it helps blow that out really quickly too. So I'm definitely recommending, if you're going to do this kind of camping, get yourself a little fan like that, because it's really awesome. Here you can see a stove thermometer, and we're running about 500 degrees, which says optimum performance, so we're not even close to overheating because I'm keeping it small. That came with it, so it's an awesome little idea. So we're about 42 degrees in here. Last time I checked it was 33 outside, but that was a while ago, so it's probably a little chillier than that. So we're a good 10 degrees warmer in here right now, and the stove is it's doing a good job. I will say there is one thing that I wish I had, and that is like a little basket or a bin that just the wood can go in, because this is all over the floor. It made a pretty big mess in here. I'm gonna have to do some cleaning tomorrow to get this back into shape, but if I bought some sort of bin the wood could go inside of, and it would keep it tidier and cleaner in here for sure. So yeah, that's an idea for the future. All right, we're officially up to 51 in here. It's actually comfortable. I'm really feeling like I had to shed a layer already. I had to take my hat off. This little thing is doing a really good job. You know, the fan and the heater together. And if you're wondering why it's red underneath, it's not the fire. I put a red light down there just to kind of enhance the background. As you can see, the red light shining up there too. So yeah, it's working. It's working really good. Very comfortable in here. The smoke is venting out properly, and I just feed a log in there every once in a great while, and it just keeps going. All right, folks, it's going on about 9 o'clock, I think. I've been in here with the stove going for probably 90 minutes, almost 2 hours maybe. Took a little while to get it going. There was a lot of smoke at first, of course, but once it got established, it's been working pretty good. And I checked the temperature outside. It's 30 degrees outside, and in here it's gotten up to as high as 60, which is really cool. I mean, not cool, but that's pretty awesome that it's double the temperature that it is outside. I don't know why the glass turned black. It's hard to see in there now. Must be just because of all the smoke when I was just getting it going. Probably just needs to be cleaned off tomorrow. But yeah, it's working good. All right. I've been asleep for a few hours. I think maybe 3 hours, maybe. Whew. I'm a little clogged up. Coughing a little bit from just being around all the smoke. It says it's 37 degrees inside the tent. So my body heat's keeping it a little bit warmer than it is outside, because it's, I'm assuming, still around 30 out there, maybe a little bit colder. But yeah, I'm going to get back in this sleeping bag and snuggle down and try to get some more sleep. The wood stove is definitely out cold. I touched it and it's just as cold as it is in here. So the wood stove burned out sometime when I was snoozing, and it's too cold to get going again right now. I'm not concerned about it. Maybe in the morning we'll try this again. All right, good morning, folks. It's the next day. It's about 6:30 in the morning. Woke up to snow. Was not expecting that. It's coming down right now. Just a light dusting on the ground. But it's a big change from yesterday where this was all dirt and now it looks like snow again. I slept okay. I mean, I always toss and turn a little bit when I'm camping because I think I'm on alert and I'm just not getting full deep sleep. But all in all, I stayed warm in there. It was a good evening, and now I'm going to start packing up and get out of here before the snow gets worse, because the road coming in was sketchy, and I don't want it to get more sketchy before I get out. So yeah, start packing up here in a few minutes. Normally when I'm camping, I take a lot of extra time to pack everything up properly so that when I get home I don't have to do it. But with it snowing pretty good here, and I don't know when this is going to let up, I really need to get out on this dirt road before it gets even worse. So all this gear, it looks unorganized. I'm going to pull some of this out, and then I'm just going to stuff everything in here and then organize it when I get home, because I can't take the chance on this road getting worse. I mean, the snow's not bad yet, but you never know when you're in the mountains, and I'm up about 8,500 feet at least. You know, if the snow's going to take a turn and get worse, or if it's going to clear up. So I'm going to start packing up stuff, and I'll worry about organizing it when I get home. All right, I was going to stay this morning and have a morning campfire, because I really love morning campfires. I was going to have some biscuits and gravy, but with the weather changing like this, it's best. I know I keep saying it, but I need to pack up and get out of here before the road gets worse. And I'll have to worry about breakfast once I get back to town. Kind of like a frozen frozen snow, frozen rain sort of deal. Well, it figures. As soon as I rush to pack up to get out of here, the snow is stopping and the sun's trying to peek through. So it's probably going to be a beautiful day up here. So I still got to get out of here because the roads are going to be sketchy, and right now they might be frozen. That may make it a little easier than trying to drive through some deep mud. So yeah, it's time to keep moving and get myself the heck out of here. Wow, what a difference an hour makes. When I got up, it was snowing, it was coming down pretty good, and now we're back to New Mexico blue skies, and the sun is out, it's shining, and it's starting to feel really decent out. It was about 30 degrees when I got out here at 6:30, and I'm not sure what temperature it is now, but it feels warmer, I guess, because I'm up and moving and I'm working. All right, the tent is empty, except for some of the leftover firewood that I didn't use last night. I'll get that out of here in a few minutes. I gotta get this rug dusted off of the snow and get it hanging up to dry. And then hopefully the sun will melt off some of this frozen ice snow stuff here, because this stuff is on here pretty good. So we'll just shake her off, let the sun do its thing for a while I get the rest of the gear kind of cleaned up and organized. The tent will be the last thing that I put away, just because it's got moisture on it right now. So yeah. All right, I got the frozen snow / rain off the tent. It's still a little damp, so I'm going to leave it set up here. I'm glad the sun's hitting most of it. And I'm getting the truck loaded and things are going good. It's a beautiful morning again already. Even though, you know, at 6:30 when I woke up it was snowing, it turned into a really nice day. I bet it's going to get up in the 50s again here today. Awesome. Yeah, it's been an hour and a half since I got up and it was snowing, and now it's a whole different world. I keep hearing birds. I think I hear a woodpecker somewhere nearby. And just a minute ago, I'm pretty sure I heard an elk bugling. So I'm out here in nature with nature, and it's awesome. I'm definitely hearing elk bugling. There was some back there and some over there. I wish I would see one or two or a herd. That would be really cool if they just kind of crossed through here. But you never know with critters if they're going to be here or not. It's funny, this morning when I got up at 6:30, 100% of the ground was covered in snow. And just in an hour and a half with the sun coming out, you can see a lot of it's melting off already. I mean, it was a dusting. It covered the ground. It wasn't like a whole inch of snow or anything, but yeah, it's warm enough out now that it's starting to melt off. It's 32 degrees Fahrenheit currently, but in the sun it feels warmer. I always think it's neat when you can see a mountaintop and there's clouds that are a little lower than it and they're blowing through. It's just beautiful. All right, before I rush out of here and head back to the town, since the day is improving weather-wise, I'm going to take a little walkabout here. I keep hearing elk bugling in every direction around me. And they sound like they're not too far away. So it'd be cool if I just happen to see some of them walking by. No guarantees. I have seen elk out in the wild many times, but you never know if you're going to see them when you're here at the moment. So I'm down the road over there where you can see the tent and the truck. And that ended up being a really good spot. Really enjoyed it. There was a nice fire pit there. You know, last night when it got dark, I shined my headlamp down here and there was something reflecting, and I was pretty sure it was a Forest Service sign or something. And sure enough, there it is. Let's see what it says. Seems like the road kind of ends here, and then it's walking only after this. Yep, there you go. No motorized vehicles beyond this point. Respect the resource. So there you go. Forest Service, Department of Agriculture. So they don't want you driving back here, which is understandable. That doesn't even look like you could get up that really safe. So walking, yes. Driving, no. But yeah, it's really, really pretty back here. It's kind of nice when you camp on a road that dead ends, because you know nobody's going to camp behind you. All right, folks. It's a good time out here in the mountains. I wish I had another whole day and night to stay out here. It's Sunday, so unfortunately I don't. But, you know, next time I'll come out for a couple days and do this. It was totally worth all the effort and time and the work to do all this. Never hurts to get on a little walkabout. I'll tell you, when that sun goes away, though, you feel the cold up here. My fingertips are getting chilled. All right. Everything feels pretty solid under my feet. The ground feels pretty frozen. So we'll have to be careful going out to not slip and slide too much. But it'll also mean it'll be less muddy, which is also helpful. So, yeah. You know, I say this in just about every camping video I do, but the campsite looks a lot more lonely without all the gear set up. It just doesn't feel the same. Still love it, still awesome, but when you got your shelter set up and you got a camp chair out, you're home. And now it's back to being woods again. Campfire was over there. It's a great spot for that. You can see it was a beautiful backdrop. Anyway, just the mountain over there. Yeah, this was cool. Really enjoyed this. All right, folks, I've been up for about 2 hours, and it is time to get in the truck and head out of here. Had a great time. Beautiful place. So happy I came and had this awesome experience. It was really, really cool. I look forward to doing another winter camp with a hot tent at some point in the future. So, yeah. So that's the mileage to get here, approximately 91 and a half. You could probably subtract a mile from that because I drove around up here once I got to the spot a little bit. But you're still looking at 90 miles-ish to get to this spot from Albuquerque. After a refreshing stay, I packed up my gear, erased every trace of camp, and rolled back toward civilization. As the forest faded behind me, I couldn't help but reflect on the time that I had spent here. It was truly a spiritual moment for me. One thing's for sure, solo camping near San Pedro Parks, 10 out of 10. And I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Out here, every challenge, whether it's setting up a hot tent for the first time, coaxing a stubborn campfire into life, or navigating rough mountain roads, comes with its own reward. The reward of silence, of self-reliance, of realizing that even when things get tough, you can figure them out. There's something deeply grounding about spending nights alone under the stars. The stillness makes every sound sharper, every flicker of the firelight brighter.
and every breath of cool mountain air feels like a gift. Solo camping strips down things to the essentials. It's just you, your thoughts, and the wild world around you. And that's the wonder of it. No distractions, no noise from the outside world, just the reminder that nature has a way of recharging us in ways nothing else can. For me, that's what the James Blackburn experience is all about. Adventures, big and small, filled with both challenge and beauty. That reminds us to keep exploring, because the world is out there waiting. One trail, one campfire, one story at a time.
All right, folks, I did it again. I did my second official solo camp. First one being last September up in the Gilman Tunnels in the Jemez Mountains. But this trip, I really stepped it up a notch. First of all, I went out in winter, and that's always a risk because you don't know if you're going to get snowed in or not. I did not, thankfully. Second thing I did is I went to a place where there were no other campers last night. That's a big difference from the Gilman Tunnels where I had people mile away that were camping in RVs. So I never really felt alone on the Gilman Tunnels last September. Last night I felt alone up here. There was one truck that came in after I was here, and then I saw them leave a few hours later, and I have not seen another single person up here this morning. So I literally camped in the middle of a wilderness completely alone with no other people nearby. So I'm a little proud of myself, I guess, because solo camping is kind of intimidating, can be a little scary, especially when you're out here alone and you hear coyotes nearby hunting. All right, folks, officially made it out of the wilderness area and back to the main highway, which is just up ahead. The turnoff for the camping spot that I found is approximately 4.2 miles from here. So when you turn off, I'll have to remember that. It's also only 1.5 miles past the parking lot for the San Gregorio Lake Trail. So I'll have to remember that spot. I'd like to come back here and bring some friends to that spot because it was just really, really nice. Okay, back to civilization.
Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this trip, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss another video adventure. Until next time, keep exploring and stay safe out there. Remember, folks, love, hate, take care of each other.
Remember, folks, life is beautiful if you know where to look. So keep your mind, your eyes, and your heart open. It just might lead you somewhere special. Please check out my channel for over 1,000 additional video adventures. Thanks for watching.
Purple Martians. Alright, that's perfect. I love it.
Meet the New Mexico Gunfighters Association, a wild bunch you won't forget. Chester Moon was an outlaw. Now he wears a badge, and he's one mean sheriff. Dakota James, raised by wolves, wanted in 3 territories and still charming as ever. Miss Peacock, don't let the dress fool you. She's got a dead-eye aim and a quicker wit. Dirty Dave, outlaw poet and part-time grave digger, emphasis on dirty. Polecat Stevens plays poker with one hand, shoots with the other, never loses either. River Nate speaks little, shoots often, and never misses. Legend says he's part ghost. Pollo Loco, wild-eyed, fast-talking, and always ready for a showdown. Captain Jack, eyes like flint, a dead-eye shot and a past no one dares ask about. Nicholas, the gentleman gunslinger, polite, precise, and cold as ice. Adam, young, bold, and already a legend in 3 counties. Live shootouts, Wild West tales, and family-friendly frontier fun. Meet the New Mexico Gunfighters Association, June 7th and 8th. Get your tickets now at wildwestfrontierfest.com. Yeehaw!
Good howdy, folks. I'm James Blackburn, filmmaker, actor, and adventure seeker. I live in the American Southwest, and I'm surrounded by breathtaking landscapes and endless possibilities. My passion? Capturing life's beauty through lens and screen. From Red Rock Canyons to Hollywood movie sets, I'm always on the move. Join me on my video adventures as I navigate the wilds of the entertainment industry and the great outdoors. Let's explore together.
Tent Rocks, a hiking adventure in the desert.
Good howdy, folks. Welcome back to another James Blackburn experience. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Today, I am at Tent Rocks in New Mexico. It's going to be awesome.
Welcome to Tent Rocks National Monument, a place where nature went wild with a sculpting knife and created one of the most unique landscapes in the American Southwest. This is a land of towering rock spires, narrow slot canyons, and views that stretch for miles. It's a hiker's playground in the desert, and today we're going to explore it, one step, one laugh, and one breathtaking view at a time. Today it's managed by both the Bureau of Land Management and the Cochiti Pueblo tribe, ensuring its beauty is preserved for generations to come. Tent Rocks, whose name means white cliffs in the language of the Cochiti Pueblo, sits on the Pajarito Plateau. It's a place where geology tells a story written in stone, shaped by volcanic eruptions 6 to 7 million years ago.
All right, we're going to take the Slot Canyon Trail to the right, but we're going to come back on the cave loop later, so we're going to have some mileage today. But how awesome is this place? So cool. These weird rocks everywhere. I love it. I haven't been here since 2017. It's nice to be here while it's quiet. Not a lot of people here.
A roughly 3-mile round-trip hike through some of the most mesmerizing rock formations you'll ever see. It's part trail, part natural obstacle course, and all around incredible. Now, before you lace up your boots and race to your car, here's something important. You can't just show up anymore. Tent Rocks is now reservation only. That's right. You need to plan ahead and book your visit through recreation.gov. The system was introduced after the monument reopened, limiting visitors to about 75,000 a year, down from its pre-pandemic peak of 130,000. Fewer people mean more breathing room and better views. Trust me, it's worth the extra planning. You'll also need a Cochiti Pueblo Tribal Access Pass, which you can grab during the reservation process. And heads up, your America the Beautiful Pass covers the federal fee, but not the tribal one. So be sure to have both tickets before you arrive. Oh, and leave the pups at home. Dogs aren't allowed. Service animals? Yes. Your Instagram famous golden retriever? Sadly, no.
And with the boulder up on top, that is
Yeah,
so
that's
cool.
beautiful. And the layers, just amazing. Wow.
That sky is so deep blue.
I know, it's a classic New Mexico
Oh my God.
blue skies
Looks
today.
really dark in it.
Trust me, even your dog would say, "You got this, human. Go enjoy it for both of us." 6 to 7 million years ago, a volcanic field erupted in spectacular fashion, covering this area in ash, pumice, and tuff deposits over 1,000 feet thick. Over time, wind and rain carved these formations into the whimsical shapes we see today. A place where the land itself feels alive, twisting, towering, and whispering stories from millions of years ago. So grab your water bottle, charge your camera, and leave your worries behind, because nature just rolled out the red carpet. These towering spires, called hoodoos, are sculpted by wind and water over millions of years.
Wow.
Some stand up to 90 feet tall, and many have large capstones balanced on top. It's like nature was playing a game of Will It Stay? Spoiler, some of them did, some of them didn't. Look deep into nature, and then you will understand everything better. Albert Einstein.
It's half mile to the parking lot, so that's not that much longer. That's a big tree there. Big old ponderosa pine, I think, huh? Mixed in here.
It's not just a hike, it's a walk through time, through ash and fire, through ancient upheaval frozen in place.
All right, out of the sun and into the shade. You definitely feel a temperature drop, but it's still nice out. It really is. Make sure you pay attention to these trails. Let's preserve this place for future generations. Look at this.
And now we step into the magic of Tent Rocks. The real adventure? That starts here, at the Canyon Trail. This 1.5-mile trek goes through a narrow slot canyon before climbing 630 feet to a mesa top with jaw-dropping views. If you love tight spaces and scrambling over rocks, this is your kind of place.
Yeah, this is definitely a very photogenic place. Pay attention to all the signage. Be safe. Here's my buddies. Everybody's grabbing pictures. How can you not? Well, look how awesome this place is. Classic New Mexico blue skies today. All right, folks, I was just talking to some people here about this tree. Now, if you're a fan of the movie Silverado, like I am, it's a Western that was filmed here in New Mexico back in the 80s. There is a famous scene at the base of this tree right here. You see those roots there, very recognizable. And they ride the horses just right past that, well, on the left-hand side. So, yeah, maybe I'll pull a clip and show that to you. You can see Don's up there taking pictures. He's always getting some nice photographs. What do you say we go up and take a closer look at those roots underneath, because that's pretty neat. All right, so this is something unusual that you would think the land used to be about 5 feet taller back here, and it just eroded away. But I think what happened is the erosion started, and then the tree just got taller. And I'm not kidding. Let me show you how tall this is. I'll walk up next to it right now. All right, folks. This shows you how big these roots are here. It's so awesome. I love hiking this trail, but as soon as you get in the canyon, this is one of the first things you see. And I always found this to be a very special spot. Even somewhat spiritual, because trees and me were good friends. And if you're going to hug a tree, this is a good one to do it. So come here, buddy. All right. Awesome. All right, continuing.
It's like hiking through a natural cathedral. Only the ceiling is open to the sky. Come back in a few thousand years. It'll look different, but probably still amazing.
All right, folks, continuing the journey into the heart of Tent Rocks. This is so awesome. I say this in pretty much every nature video I do. My face is hurting from smiling so much, and that's a problem I enjoy having.
It's the kind of hike that makes you feel like Indiana Jones, only with more sunscreen and fewer snakes.
Tent Rocks is so awesome. Absolutely love it.
Think of it like scoring tickets to nature's greatest rock show, literally. And hey, fewer people also means you might just get that perfect selfie without photobombers.
I mean, this is a true and honest slot canyon. It's so cool. So glad I was able to come back here again and do this. It's been 8 years since I was here last. I tell you, it hasn't changed much. Looks exactly the same. Seems like you could almost film the entire hike in real time and it never gets boring. See what I mean? Look at this. Wow. I'm gonna stop and get a shot here in a second to give you a size comparison. Check this out. One thing about this trail, you can't get lost. There's only one trail in, one trail out. Look at this place. So outstanding.
Look at this. Some parts of the canyon are so tight, You can barely turn around. It's like nature built an obstacle course just to see how good you are at sideways walking.
Wow, look at that. Sun's coming in and it's really lighting up the rocks beautifully. Awesome.
Some hoodoos lost their capstones, eroding faster than their more fortunate neighbors. It's a slow motion transformation still happening before our eyes.
You know, parts of the slot canyon are a little wider like this section, and then there's other parts that get a little thinner. We're about to go into one of those. Here you can see how it went from a wide part of the canyon to not a wide. This is one of the reasons I love this trail so much. It's just a beautiful hike, a little touch of adventure. Look at this canyon. How can you not absolutely love this? This is so cool.
If this landscape looks familiar, you might have seen it on the big screen. The Western classic Silverado filmed scenes here, as did the 90s sci-fi series Earth 2. Hollywood knows a good backdrop when it sees one.
All right. This place is so awesome. I love it. It's one of the best places to hike in the world, I think.
It's time in those things.
Wow. Once again, wow is the only word I can think of that can actively describe what I'm feeling right now. I've been here many times over the years, but it never ceases to amaze me, especially when you got an 8-year break for not coming here. This is the kind of trip you should probably do once a year, at least. It's that special and that awesome. So just came out of the canyon there. It looks like a cave, but it's not. And yeah, it even kind of feels like a cave when you're down there. It's kind of neat. Love it. You know, I think this Slot Canyon trail in its entirety is only 1.5 miles long, and not all of that is in the Slot Canyon. But in that Slot Canyon and the hike afterwards before, wow, it's quality 1.5 miles for sure. Something different, something unique. This type of rock and this type of formations don't exist a lot in the world, and we're lucky to have it right here in New Mexico. All right, turn the corner. Whoa, more awesomeness. been pretty much filming from the widest angle lens I have because there's so much to see out here. You really want to try to capture it on camera, but as usual, camera never does it justice. You end up with a representation of the beauty and the awesomeness, but not quite capturing it 100%. So let this be your guide to come out, enjoy these beautiful lands, and just be out here yourself, taking in the views, breathing in this clean canyon air. It's good medicine.
The clearest way into the universe is through a forest wilderness. In every walk with nature, one receives far more than they seek. John Muir. Time spent among trees is never time wasted. Katrina Mayer.
This place is so awesome. Look at it. It just feels otherworldly in a lot of ways. All right, I call these rocks the twins because they're very similar to one another. Just a beautiful rock face here that's pretty tall. You can kind of see how big it is in comparison to those folks. The landscape is huge out here, it really is.
They look like giant stone ice cream cones, minus the calories, plus the awe. It's erosion with style, a masterpiece created one raindrop at a time. Heaven is under our feet as well as over our heads. Henry David Thoreau. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Lao Tzu. Adopt the pace of nature. Her secret is patience. Ralph Waldo Emerson.
All right, one thing I will say about hiking is you always meet such nice people on the trail. And sometimes you make friends and stay in touch later. Even though you only met them on the trail once, you might end up going on a hike with them later. So it's just, I was telling them, these two folks I just met from Santa Fe, that my face is hurting from smiling so much. I haven't stopped smiling since I got here. It's absolutely an awesome hike and a beautiful day. I keep making new friends on the hike here. I just talked to those folks a couple times. Really friendly. Their first time being here. It's really neat to get to talk to folks who's witnessing this for the first time. Because I've been here at least a dozen times probably, and it never stops blowing my mind. But the first time here really blows your mind big time. All right, continuing the journey. There's a little tree stuck up in here. Kind of have to hike under it. It's kind of neat. Must have fallen there and then they just cut it and left it. Here's where the switchbacks start here in a minute. All right, there's Don for size comparison. These rocks are huge. Look at this. And they keep going up a ways. How awesome is that? So cool. All right, folks, we are at the official back part of the canyon to where the switchbacks begin here in just a minute. It's gonna be a lot of going up, a lot of huffing and puffing for a bit till we get to the top of this thing, but it's awesome. I wouldn't have it any other way. All right, there's Don. And that's the end of the canyon right behind him there. Kind of looks like a cave a little bit, but that indeed is a canyon. And this is some of the most recognizable rocks at Tent Rocks. We get up higher, you'll get to see the iconic shot of these. That is awesome. So cool. All right, that iconic view of Tent Rocks as we go up is getting more and more recognizable.
Now, if you're up for it, the climb to the top is where you'll find the best views. It's a workout, but trust me, it's worth every step. You'll feel it in your legs, sure, but your spirit will be doing cartwheels. Being here, you can almost hear the echoes of ancient eruptions, feel the power that shaped this land, and appreciate just how small we are in the grand scheme of things. It's humbling, it's inspiring, and it makes you forget about that steep climb, at least until the way back down.
This is big steps here. Wow, that was kind of intense.
At the summit, you get a panoramic view of various mountains, along with the Rio Grande Valley stretching into the horizon. If you weren't out of breath from the climb, the view will take care of that for you. There's a silence up there that speaks louder than words, except maybe, wow.
All right, folks, that was the iconic spot where everybody stops to get pictures. We did too. Pictures and video, of course. Now we're continuing the rest of the way to the top of the mesa here. And once we get up there, the trail kind of flattens out again and it goes out to the end of a mesa. And that is going to be an awesome spot to be at here in just a little bit. Going up always gets me a little bit. Gravity is fighting me. But I'm giving up a pretty good battle, fighting back. Whew. All right. Wow. It's so beautiful from up here.
Yep. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
All right.
The rock formations are just so unusual too.
Right.
All right, we're almost to the top. You can see it kind of levels out here a little bit. So a little easier on my hips and knees now. But the view up here is just so awesome. You can see off so far. I love it. Check out this view, folks. I am just blown away by how awesome this is. You can really see off in the distance. There on the left, you can see a body of water. That's Cochiti Lake. We drove past that on the way in. And now we're heading up this trail over here for the final push to the end of the mesa. And there we will have our awesome moment.
See over here. Oh yeah, this is cool, dude.
All right, this is my buddy Don. I call him Dondolf, the hiking wizard. This is a little extra mesa off to the side that we're exploring. The main mesa we're going down in a minute. It's up there. You can kind of see a person hiking. Well, She just went behind a tree. Okay, there she is. That gives you an idea of size comparison right there. How cool is that? And then check out this rock over here. These were just next to a minute ago. I didn't realize that one had a hole in it though. Look at that. Right there, a hole right through the rock. Coolness. Tim Burton tree. All right, officially at the top. The mesa goes out for a while, goes down a little bit, so it means I'm gonna have to go back up on the way out, but this is it. That is the trail out. That's the way we're heading. All right, you made it to the top, officially. Awesome! You know, the last time I was up here was 2017, and I had my cousins from the Midwest, and this part of the trail freaked them out because it drops off so suddenly on both sides. They absolutely refused to hike out to the end of this. It just unnerved them for some reason. I don't blame them. I mean, you can't really say in the Midwest, especially Indiana, there's anything like this that just drops off so quickly while you're hiking. So yeah, 2017 was the last time I'm here. I'm glad to be back. All right, as you get closer to the end of this mesa, we still got a little ways to go, but it just, the views every direction are just outstanding. There you can see some folks down there. That shows you where the end is at, and the end is near, at least the end of the trail, not the end of everything probably.
Nature always wears the colors of the spirit. Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Head in that direction.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's awesome.
This is incredible.
The earth has music for those who listen, often attributed to William Shakespeare. Anonymous origin. Wilderness is not a luxury, but a necessity of the human spirit. Edward Abbey.
All right, down below is the trail we hiked in on, and the parking lot's way down there. In the background you can see Sandia Mountains. It's a kind of turtle-shaped mountain, also known as Turtle Mountain, ironically enough. Just taking a break up on top, enjoying this beautiful moment. Awesome hike as usual, folks. You really can't go wrong with Tent Rocks. It's not a super difficult hike. It's fairly short. I think we're gonna do 3.5, 4 miles total today, probably with the loop trail out. And I've been up here alone on the mesa at the very end for about the last 20 minutes or so, and it's so quiet and just so beautiful up here right now. As usual, love, love, hate, hate. Take care of each other.
The hike out is as much fun as going in. This place feels like a historical and beautiful place to spend the day. It's one of those rare places where the view changes you, just a little. Every turn is a photo op. Every breeze feels like a pat on the back for making the climb. Tent rocks might just be the real star of the show. No special effects needed. It's the kind of place that stays with you, long after the dust has left your boots. Nature gives us places like this, but it's up to us to protect them. From volcanic craters to ancient cliff dwellings, the land of enchantment truly lives up to its name. The mountains are calling and I must go. John Muir. We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children. Native American proverb. What we are doing to the forests of the world is but a mirror reflection of what we are doing to ourselves. Mahatma Gandhi. The environment is where we all meet, where we all have a mutual interest. It is the one thing all of us share. Lady Bird Johnson. When one tugs at a single thing in nature, he finds it attached to the rest of the world. John Muir. So that's Tent Rocks, a natural playground, a geological wonder, and one of the most unforgettable hikes in New Mexico. Whether you come for the science, the adventure, or just an amazing photo op, this place delivers. Before we wrap up, a quick reminder. This is a fragile and sacred landscape. Respect the land, stay on the trail, and leave no trace. That way, future explorers can have the same incredible experience we had today. And if you're looking for even more adventures nearby, consider checking out Bandelier National Monument or the Valles Caldera, both just a short drive away. New Mexico is filled with hidden gems waiting to be explored. Until next time, keep exploring, keep wondering, and keep embracing the adventure. Remember, folks, life is beautiful if you know where to look. So keep your eyes, ears, and heart open. It might just lead you somewhere special.
Please check out my channel for over 1,000 additional video adventures. Thanks for watching.
Purple Martians. Alright, that's perfect. I love it.
Good howdy, folks. I'm James Blackburn, filmmaker, actor, and adventure seeker. I live in the American Southwest, and I'm surrounded by breathtaking landscapes and endless possibilities. My passion? Capturing life's beauty through lens and screen. From Red Rock Canyons to Hollywood movie sets, I'm always on the move. Join me on my video adventures as I navigate the wilds of the entertainment industry and the great outdoors. Let's explore together.
All right, folks, we're in our last 1.5 mile stretch of our 4-day journey out here at San Pedro Park's wilderness. I gotta admit to you, I'm feeling it. Day 4, I'm hurting, especially the bottoms of my feet toward the front and my toes. Feels like I might be getting blisters. We're gonna probably do close to 25 miles on this trip total in the 4 days. That's a lot of walking, especially when you're wearing a backpack that is started out at 50 pounds. It's a little lighter now, but it's still heavy. So What can I say about this trip? Well, number one, it was awesome. I loved every moment of it, even the tough ones. We overcame them and became stronger as a result, and had a good trip because of a few difficulties. Day one, we hiked between 6 and 7 miles, and we probably changed elevation of 15 to 1800 feet of going up. So day one was tough. That was a long bit of hiking and a lot of miles going up. But once we got to camp, we were loving it. It was awesome. We stayed at a camp where I'd stayed at before, back about 4.5 years ago, I think. And then we had a great campfire experience and good dinners and just hung out as friends do. And then the next morning we woke up and we hiked about 5 miles on day 2 to what we now call CDT camp, because it's a camp that's not far off the Continental Divide Trail. That one ended up being really nice too. Day 3, the weather changed on us overnight. When we woke up, there was snow on the ground. And then when we packed up and hiked, we got blasted by snow several times on day 3. And then when we're looking for a campsite, we got like white out, almost blizzard conditions for a little bit. So we set up camp really quickly. And that was last night's camp. It was nice. It was fun. It wasn't as spectacular as the first 2 camps, but hey, it was still a camp in the woods, so can't complain. And then we slept there last night. Woke up to 23 degrees this morning, I believe. So it was a little chilly. We definitely had to have a campfire this morning while we were getting breakfast ready, because that's cold. Then we packed up and started heading down the trail. Yeah, let me kind of sum up what I'm feeling about being here. It's spiritual. It really is. Being back as far as we were in the wilderness, probably the farthest I've ever gone backpacking. It was awesome. We saw elk and forest so thick that some spots of it, the sun doesn't even make it to the ground. Reminds me of Mirkwood in Lord of the Rings. I don't know why this isn't like a more of a world famous backpacking place, because you got lots of trails, over 41,000 acres. There's rivers and creeks everywhere with trout, and so you got water and you got fish. It's pretty cool. It's a really magnificent place.
Remember, folks, life is beautiful if you know where to look. So keep your mind, your eyes, and your heart open. It just might lead you somewhere special. Please check out my channel for over 1,000 additional video adventures. Thanks for watching.
Purple Martians. Right, that's perfect. I love it.
Good howdy, folks. I'm James Blackburn, filmmaker, actor, and adventure seeker. I live in the American Southwest, and I'm surrounded by breathtaking landscapes and endless possibilities. My passion? Capturing life's beauty through lens and screen. From Red Rock Canyons to Hollywood movie sets, I'm always on the move. Join me on my video adventures as I navigate the wilds of the entertainment industry and the great outdoors. Let's explore together.
Awesome!
Welcome back to another James Blackburn experience. Today, we're taking you behind the scenes of the 9th annual backpacking trip into the wild and rugged Ojito Wilderness. And joining me on this adventure is special guest star and professional photographer, Wendy Hayes. She's here not just to hike, but to also document the making of this episode, capturing the landscapes, the light, and all the moments in between. So pack up your gear, pour your coffee, and get ready, because we're heading into one of New Mexico's most remote and beautiful wilderness areas. Good howdy, folks. Welcome back to another James Blackburn experience. Thanks a lot for tuning back in. Now today we're doing something slightly different. Normally when I do a backpacking video, I don't really show you the prep work that goes into it. A few times I've hinted at it, but really it's a lot of work to get ready to go and do a backpacking trip. As you can see on the table in front of me, I already got a lot of gear out here. I got my trusty backpack right here. Had this thing for 25 years. It's never failed me, and it's going with me again tomorrow to the Ojito Wilderness. Other gear on here is stuff that I like to bring. You know, you got your cook pot, and inside here is this fuel and all that other good stuff. And you know, what good trip would be complete without headlampage? You need a headlamp to see out there at night, so I always bring this with me as well. And you know, there's a variety of other gear here. What I'm gonna do is pack everything, and we might do a time lapse of that and just show you how much stuff goes into a backpack, even for an overnighter trip. All around me is other gear. It's gonna be fun. So tune back tomorrow, because it's gonna be the 9th annual Ojito Wilderness backpacking trip, and I'm super excited about it, so stay tuned. It's gonna be a lot of fun. In case you're wondering why there's flashing light, we have a photographer in here, and there's a flash over there, and she's taking some photos to kind of show you guys what it looks like to a behind the scenes look at a James Blackburn experience. The night before, I prepped my gear, checking and rechecking, because once you're deep into the Ojito Wilderness, there's no turning back. Well, there is turning back. It takes more time, and you want to make sure you're prepared and that you have everything you need to be safe. All right, folks. I have the backpack pretty much ready to go. You can see the tables cleared off, everything behind me is organized. It's going to be an early morning tomorrow because we're trying to get to the parking lot. That means we're going to be out there about 5:30. Means I have to leave here 4 o'clock-ish. So yeah, we're going to wrap it up here, but tune back tomorrow because the Ojito Wilderness is beautiful and awesome. Early the next morning, before the sun peaks over the horizon, we hit the road. The desert stretches out ahead, cool and quiet, promising adventure and a little bit of challenge. All right, good howdy, folks. We are out on the dirt road to the Ojito Wilderness. It's really early, as you can tell. It's not even 5 o'clock yet. And the reason for that is because we wanted to get out here for the sunrise. You can see out the window here, the sun has still got a ways to go before it comes up, which is good because we want to be in place to photograph this awesome thing and videotape it when the time is right. So yeah, behind me in a different vehicle is the photographer. All right, this is awesome. I've been out in the Ojito overnight many times, but I'm already here and camping when it's dark. So this is really neat to be out here this early in the morning and just enjoying the nice cool air, because it's been hot in Albuquerque lately. So coming up here a little higher elevation, early morning before the sunrise, yeah. Well, you can tell it's definitely starting to get a little bit more light out. You know, the earlier video I had on the drive here was just the headlights. You couldn't see anything past that. And now you can see the sky and some of the mesa. So sunrise is not here yet, but it's getting closer every moment. This is an interesting section of the road because it goes through a little bit of a canyon here for a few minutes.
And in the daytime, and even right now, it's a very beautiful spot. I love coming back to the Ojito Wilderness. All right, she's coming alive. She's coming alive. I always stop here because right over here is the signage for the official Ojito Wilderness entrance here, basically. You can see my shadow on there because somebody's got their headlights on behind me, but yeah, there you go. Ojito Wilderness. We are close to the parking lot now, maybe a mile or two away, so super excited.
We arrived just before sunrise. We both immediately set up for a sunrise photo session, catching the first rays on the desert terrain. It's quiet, serene, and the kind of light that makes all the early morning prep worth it.
All right, folks, we made it to the parking lot. I got the backpack here ready to go. I'm going to be putting it on in just a minute. And then we're going to head down the trail over this way across the road. So yeah, it's a beautiful morning so far, and birds are singing, sun's starting to come up, and it's nice and cool out here, which I really, really enjoy. All right, the cactus are in bloom. Look how beautiful that is. That is awesome.
This is what I love about sharing these moments. The wilderness wakes up slowly, and you get to witness it with a lens, a moment at a time. From the trailhead, it's about a mile hike to our base camp. Along the way, we stop for more behind-the-scenes shots and the quiet beauty that only a wilderness hike can offer.
All right, folks, we are officially on the trail, and as I say in every video, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and we're about 50 steps into it. It's absolutely beautiful out here right now, and all these cactus are in full bloom. It's absolutely amazing to be out here and see all the flowers everywhere in the desert. You know, you think of the desert as sand and kind of harsh, but there's these delicate flowers growing on everything. It's absolutely amazing. I'm always blown away to come out here. Even after 9 years of being out here, I never get tired of it. It's a really beautiful spot. We're only about a quarter mile in, maybe at the most, but here in a minute comes up the first hoodoo rock, and I always stop and photograph that because it's the first hoodoo rock. But definitely a worthy stop to check out. All right, folks, continuing the journey. Every time I come out here, I've nicknamed a lot of the sections of the trails. This next piece here I call the beach, because it reminds me of a sandy beach sort of area you'd see by the water, ocean or a lake or something, but especially right up here. See that sandy mesa there? And then right past this is the wave here in just a couple minutes. But yeah, check out this sand here. It's like sand dunes. It's pretty awesome. There's our shadows. We got the long legs going. All right. Right after the beach is an area I've nicknamed the wave. And I've called it the wave online enough that I've noticed other people have started to refer to it as that as well. The lighting is not optimum on it right now, but when the sun hits this, it's such a beautiful rock with so many layers in it. Love it. I love this place. There you can kind of see some of the colors back there. Yeah, it's just a very unusual spot. All right, folks, so if you do want to come visit the Ojito and you don't want to do a long hike, this is only a half mile from the parking lot. And if you're here at the right time of day with the light on these rocks, it's absolutely stunning. It really is. This is an awesome spot. So we did a little photo shoot here by the wave. Now we're going to head down the trail and make some time for the Hoodoo Pines, which is about a half mile from here. All right, folks, along the trail on the way in, this is a section that I refer to as Mars. If you look beyond the plants, just at the rocks, it totally has that look and feel of the Martian planet in an area where it's pretty rocky. And I just love it. All these different color layers and everything.
By the time we reach base camp, the sun is climbing and the desert reveals both its majesty and its intensity. Each photograph, each step, reminds us that we're in a land shaped by millions of years of history.
We made it to the Hoodoo Pines. Over here to my left, I got the backpack off already. It's only 38 pounds today, so it doesn't feel as heavy as sometimes when I go out for multiple days, but it's still 38 pounds, so it's nice to get it off. Sun is up, it's a beautiful day. The hike in was always nice as usual. And then you can just see this amazing view here of the mesas off in the distance and some mountains. All right, I absolutely love this place. It's so weird, so unique, so different.
The Ojito Wilderness, a designated area in Sandoval County, was established in 2005 and protects nearly 12,000 acres of rugged terrain. It borders the Pueblo of Zia and preserves a landscape shaped over millions of years, from Jurassic-era fossils to ancient human artifacts. Here, you can find the remnants of the ancient Puebloans, Spanish explorers, and Navajo inhabitants who survived in this dry, water-scarce environment. The land is physically intimidating. Multicolored sandstone, terraces, box canyons, and dry creek beds. It's also a haven for unique vegetation like piñon, juniper, and even the lowest elevation stand of ponderosa pine in New Mexico. Visitors can hike, backpack, ride horses, and camp primitively, though you'll need to carry in all your water. The area is accessed via US 550 and County Road 906, with trailheads like Seismosaurus and Hoodoo Pines offering entry into this incredible wilderness. After several hours of shooting, Wendy decides to head back toward the trailhead. I walk with her to the halfway point, and we take a few experimental shots along the way. Moments where light and landscape meet in unexpected ways.
All right, folks, we hiked back out about a half mile to the wave area. You can see right here. We're going to do something kind of fun and experimental. We'll break the seal on this water, so we're not going to damage anything. It'll just dry up and go away, but it's going to be a really cool shot. So we're going to take this and a brush, and we're going to make something awesome. All right, folks, here's the water, here's the brush, there's the rock. I'm going to break the seal on the water now. There you go. Fresh, clean water fresh, clean brush. Let's see what we can do with this. It's readable, kind of. And the best penmanship, but just a little bit. A little bit of water, it's fading away really quick. I used some water and a brush to write the word awesome on the rock here. I just wanted you to see no lasting effect, no damage. It was just done for fun and nothing was harmed.
It's time to part ways. Wendy heads back, and I turn towards base camp once more, reflecting on the day so far.
All right, folks, I walked the photographer about halfway out, make sure she was okay with getting back to the car. That was a great day. Really thoroughly enjoyed the photo shoot and being out here in the Ojito wilderness. It's just awesome. I will admit though, it's a little hot right now. Like in the 90s potentially. And if it's not in the 90s yet, it will be soon. And I'm starting to question if I actually want to stay the night out here because of the heat. I know tonight it's going to be nice, but right now the heat's picking up, and in a couple hours it's going to be even hotter. So I'm heading back to camp now, where all my gear is at except for some water bottles I have with me. And we're gonna go back, sit down in my camp chair in the shade, drink some water, have some snacks, and then I'll decide if I'm gonna stay or go. I haven't set up any gear yet except my camp chair, so getting everything broken down and packed in the pack won't be hard. So we'll go back, sit in the shade, and then I'll decide if I'm staying the night or not. Half of me is tempted to go home to air conditioning because it is so hot out here, but it's still a beautiful day. And nice thing about a hot day in the desert, it probably means you're not going to have a lot of other hikers out here. I might have this place completely to myself. At least at the moment I do. I don't know about the rest of the day, but at the moment I'm out here alone in the beauty of the Ojito wilderness, and I'm enjoying every beautiful moment. All right, I did go backpacking about a month ago, and I really enjoyed that. It was so opposite of this. I'm about 6,800 feet of elevation now. A month ago, I camped up over 10,000 feet every night, and it was cold and snowy. Today it's gonna be in the 90s, dry and hot out here. It's a much different experience. And I believe I packed most of the gear that I need for my overnight out here. Forgot a couple things like my sunglasses, unfortunately. Heading back to camp, gonna take a break in the shade. Now that's what I'm talking about. Right there, something or other. All right, folks. Part of the reason for today to have a photographer with me is we wanted to show you a behind the scenes look at a James Blackburn experience. What does it take to organize and shoot one of these things and edit one of them? So as you notice throughout the video, I sprinkled some photographs of the behind the scenes moments taken by the photographer, whose name will be in the credits as well as her website. Thank you very much for being part of it. A behind the scenes look at the making of a James Blackburn experience. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I do 99.9% of all the camera. I do 100% of the editing, and I do 100% of the storyline and the narration and stuff like that. So it's literally a one-man show. You have to be either a little crazy to do what I do, or you just have a calling, which I think I am a little bit crazy, but I also think I have a calling. I've been practically born with a camera in my hands, and I've been documenting my life on video and photographs since 1987, and plan to continue as life moves forward.
The heat is rising fast, already approaching the 90s. Base camp feels isolated, intense, and I have a decision to make. Should I stay or should I go? This is the reality of the Ojito Wilderness. Beauty and challenge coexisting in every ridge and mesa. It's not just a test of endurance. It's an opportunity to connect with history, geology, and the wild spirit of New Mexico.
I don't know what kind of bird that was, but it keeps coming back and landing in the tree and being very vocal. I wonder if it has a nest nearby. It's still over there somewhere. I hear it.
As I pack up and prepare to leave, I reflect on what makes the Ojito Wilderness special. It's not just the scenery, or the fossils, or even the photographs. It's the sense of stepping back in time, walking in a place shaped by nature and history alike, and sharing that journey with friends, cameras, and an open mind. Every trip here reminds me why I keep coming back, for adventure, for discovery, and for the quiet moments that leave an impression long after the hike is over.
Good howdy, folks. Here I am, still in the Ojito Wilderness, and it is getting hot out. Now, the prediction was a high of 85 today, but that's changed to about a high of 93. In a couple hours, it's going to be up at 93. So I've decided that I'm not going to stay the night. The reason being is there's going to be 9 hours of sunshine out here, and it's going to get hotter and hotter throughout the afternoon. I'm just going to be sitting in the shade doing nothing. I could be at home getting some work done, relaxing a bit in the air conditioning, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to head out here in a little bit. Backpack is back here. I'm going to put it back together. I didn't set up a lot of gear, just my camp chair. I did dig into the pack and pull some drinks and snacks out, so I got to repack a few things. Other than that, I'm pretty much ready to go. So it's about 11:30, 11:35 now. I'm going to try to get that pack on my shoulders and start heading out by noon so I can beat out the really intense heat, because right now it's already kicking my butt. It really is. All right, you can see like water's out, food bag is out, some of the wardrobe's out, a bag is out. So I got a few things to put away before I can get out of here, as well as over here I have different gear and a chair and drinks and stuff like that. So I'm gonna have to get all that stuff put away here in just a minute and head out before it gets even hotter, because I'll tell you what, it is toasty out here. It really, really is. I'm not complaining. It's just a safety issue with me in the heat. It doesn't sit well with me if I get overheated, because I've had heat stroke in the past. So it's better just to not push it too much, because I still do have a mile hike out of here. There is basically no shade on the way back. So it's time for me to pack up and start heading that way before it gets really, really hot. The journey of 1,000 miles continues with another single step and 1 mile out to the parking lot. Yes, yes, yes. Goodbye, Hoodoo Pines. See you next time, my friends. Thanks for having me out. Much, much appreciated. All right, Tim Burton Tree. See you next time, my friend. This is an awesome place to come, and today is celebrating the 9th annual trip out here. But I'm sure there'll be a 10th annual next year as well. So come out, explore the Ojito Wilderness, and enjoy some fine desert scenery. So yeah, at the wave again, and heading back to the truck. So about half mile back from here, and boy, it is hot. So hot. All right, back at the truck, about to climb in and head home safely. So good time. One thing I did notice is almost every one of these cactus here is covered in a few dozen, maybe a dozen, 2 dozen flowers. I mean, I've never seen them this full bloom before. It's really awesome.
Thanks for joining me on this behind-the-scenes journey into the Ojito Wilderness. Until next time, keep exploring, keep photographing, and keep experiencing the wild beauty of the great outdoors. This has been another adventure with the James Blackburn Experience. Remember, folks, love, love, hate, hate. Take care of each other. After the adventure is done, I bring back the footage and I copy it to my hard drives. And I say hard drives because I always copy my footage onto 3 different sources so that I don't ever lose any of it. After the footage is copied, I start a project in Adobe Premiere and I start laying out the footage. Now, the way I edit these things is I will lay out all the footage in the timeline in the order that it was shot, because typically I start shooting in the morning and I finish shooting at night, and edit it in order as it happened. So you are truly getting a James Blackburn experience from the start of the day till the end. As I sit here at my desk editing and creating the magic, this is where I really enjoy the behind the scenes, because I get to look at the footage that I captured while I'm editing, and I get to decide, do I keep it? Do I shorten it? Do I edit it some other way? And as I'm going through, I will do my first pass and I will go through all the footage in the order it was shot, and I will shorten it and take out the things I don't need, or speed up the footage that needs to be sped up, like time lapse and that sort of stuff. After the first cut is done, I will go back through and do a second pass on the video and shorten it and clean it up even more. By the time I get done with the second pass of editing, my videos are in pretty good shape. After that, I start writing voiceover, and then I will record my voiceover, and I'll lay the voiceover in, and I'll continue to polish and clean up the entire edit. I'll add music, I'll do color correction, and I'll add my logo, I'll add my opening credits and my closing credits, and then next thing you know, a few hours later, I got me a nice James Blackburn experience that only I can put together as it is.
Remember, folks, life is beautiful if you know where to look. So keep your mind, your eyes, and your heart open. It just might lead you somewhere special. Please check out my channel for over 1,000 additional video adventures. Thanks for watching.
Purple Martians. All right, that's perfect. I love it.
Good howdy, folks. I'm James Blackburn, filmmaker, actor, and adventure seeker. I live in the American Southwest, and I'm surrounded by breathtaking landscapes and endless possibilities. My passion? Capturing life's beauty through lens and screen. From Red Rock Canyons to Hollywood movie sets, I'm always on the move. Join me on my video adventures as I navigate the wilds of the entertainment industry and the great outdoors. Let's explore together.
Today is going to be a fun video because I'm going to share with you folks some things that you might need to go backpacking. And this is a beginner video for folks who haven't done it yet or haven't done a lot of it. Please don't take my word on it 100%. I want to do a disclaimer here saying I am not an expert. If you're going to start backpacking, use some of my advice if you'd like, but go online and research. Make sure you do everything safely. Here on my left is an old classic Kelty. As you can see, it's got an external frame on it. I like a good external frame, but there is another option. Over here, you can see there's 2 packs. Now, the only real difference between these two is this one's a little bigger and this one's a little smaller, and then obviously they're different colors. But the one thing you notice is there are no frames on this, external or internal. It's up to the individual on which one you like the best. Up next, shelter. This is a 1-person Kelty backpacking tent. It's tight, but it's lightweight. All right, so this is more of a 2-person tent. You can take this backpacking. It's fairly lightweight, a lot bigger, more space inside. I didn't mention this earlier. I only showed you a 1-person tent and a 2-person tent. This is a hammock. Now, a lot of people aren't comfortable in these, but they're lightweight. You just need 2 good trees to hang them from. And this is another option for backpacking. Here is the padding. The green one here is a self-inflating air mattress. Now, it's not super thick, but it does insulate you from the ground, gives you a little bit of padding. However, it's a little bit heavier for backpacking, which brings us to the front one here. I call this the accordion one because the way it opens and closes kind of like an accordion. It's more of a foam mattress, but it's really, really lightweight. I mean, it weighs almost nothing in comparison to this. And then, as you can see, it breaks down to a fairly small setup, and you can strap this to the outside of your pack. Now, this is a good old-fashioned mummy bag. Now, when it is warm out, you can actually use this fleece liner as your only bag to cover up with. And last night I started with just this. As it got colder, around 3 or 4, I put the other mummy bag up on me as well. But this gives you an extra 15 degree of warmness, so I swear by this thing. I love it. This is an inflatable pillow. Now, what I have on here is my own pillowcase, but you can see it's a big orange inflatable pillow. This is worth its weight in gold. It weighs almost nothing, and you can have something under your head when you're in the backcountry. And this is everything you need to cook in the backcountry. You got your pot, and when you travel, it has this little plastic bowl on the bottom, so you can use that to eat out of. But also, inside the plastic bowl are measurements, so you can measure out exactly all the liquids you need precisely. And trust me, that's a huge help when you're eating dehydrated meals. This comes with a lid, has a little vent on the lid right there, which is cool. But inside, we have the stove. I always pack a sponge in there, so in case I need to clean it, I can. And then we have the fuel for the stove in there. So you have everything in one pot, super lightweight, definitely will fit in your pack, doesn't take up a ton of room, and everything's in there. I love this setup, and even at higher elevation, it'll boil water quickly. And when you're getting hungry at the end of the night, trust me, that's helpful. In this MSR packet I showed you a minute ago, there's a whole stove in here, believe it or not. Check this out. So that's what the stove looks like before it's assembled. Everything just folds out, and you got yourself a fully functioning stove. Attaches to the fuel here. And like I said, all this stuff fits inside the actual pot itself, so that's pretty neat. Sometimes it's a little bit of a pain to get screwed on at first, but there you go. So there you go. That's the MSR stove, which brings us up to our next subject matter. We're going to talk about food in the backcountry while you're backpacking. So stay tuned for that. When it comes to backpacking, you don't want to bring a bunch of food with you that's already pre-hydrated and heavy, because it's just going to weight you down on the way in. So what we have here is a variety of Mountain House adventure meals. Once again, it's a company that I'm not endorsed by, I'm not paid by them. I just like the food, and it's all dehydrated, super lightweight. You add water inside the packet, seal it up, and let it sit for 10 or 20 minutes, and you got yourself a nice, nutritious, yummy meal. All right, folks, so we should mention one other item that's very crucial to any outdoor adventure, backpacking or otherwise, and that is a pretty thorough first aid kit. You never know when nature's going to throw a curve at you, and so here is a first aid kit that I carry with me every day. First of all, this is a little scaled down version of a first aid kit. You don't want to forget about another very, very important piece of gear, and that is water filtration. It's a pump filter, so it's a little bit of work to get enough water to pump every day through here, but you could disassemble this and clean it out in the field so it starts pumping nice again. And boy, it's worth its weight in gold. You really don't know awesome water until you filter some Mountain Creek water and put it in the water bottle and just have a nice big drink. So cold, so refreshing. That's why it's important to have yourself a good filtration system. One other thing that I want to mention to you is wardrobe. What kind of wardrobe are you going to need in the backcountry? Well, first of all, a good pair of sunglasses helps. So you're going to want a hat, sunglasses, and whatever's in this bag. What do you think it is? This is a rain jacket. I have one that's just like this. It's black and has rain pants. Never, ever leave home on a backpacking trip without proper rain gear. Even if the forecast says it's not going to rain, don't trust it. The mountains are weird when weather comes in, and they could say no rain for the next week, and then you get rain every day for a half hour. And the last thing you want to do is, even on a summer day, you get soaked to the bone out there, you will get cold. And I also recommend, even in the summer, bring yourself a jacket, because as soon as the sun goes down at higher elevation, it becomes a whole different world and it can get cold fast. And the last thing you want to do is get out here and get the chills and start shivering, because you want to have fun. You want it to be comfortable. We're going to talk about one more piece of gear. Footwear. Now, as you can see, I'm wearing some pretty beefy hiking boots. Now, not everybody likes the hiking boots when they're out here. Some folks go with trail runners and stuff like that. So when it comes to footwear, do what's comfortable for you, but also make sure it's durable enough to deal with being in the backcountry and maybe on some trails with a lot of rock and a lot of sharp rocks. All right, there you go, folks. That is some of the items that you might want to learn about before you start backpacking so you can get out there and do it safely. As I said earlier in the video, I am not an expert. Don't take my word on it 100%. Do your research, go online and learn as much as you possibly can before you start any activity that could be dangerous. And trust me, backpacking, it's dangerous. It can be completely safe as well, but you know, the mountains and the wilderness are really in charge. So don't ever forget that. Always be humble when you're out here. So thanks a lot for watching. As usual, love, love, hate, hate. Take care of each other.
Remember, folks, life is beautiful if you know where to look. So keep your mind, your eyes, and your heart open. It just might lead you somewhere special. Please check out my channel for over 1,000 additional video adventures. Thanks for watching. wild, the right light doesn't just illuminate, it guides, protects, and inspires. Lux Outdoors brings you 6 innovative tools, each designed to transform darkness into clarity, comfort, and adventure. Start with the vintage railroad lantern, a nod to classic design with modern power. 7 levels of soft to bright light, USB rechargeable, compact, and portable. It's the perfect companion for tents, tabletops, or quiet nights under the stars. Nostalgia meets functionality, guiding your moments with warm, retro glow. Next, the 90-degree rotating magnetic work light. Rugged, precise, and hands-free. Clip it, magnetize it, or pivot its beam exactly where you need it. 5 lighting modes, and SOS strobe means it's ready for any emergency, outdoor repair, or late-night exploration. For something more versatile and on the go, the 3-in-1 tent lantern transforms effortlessly. Table lamp, hanging tent light, or detachable flashlight. 7 RGB colors for ambience, soft brightness for reading, and an SOS red mode for safety. 1 light, 3 ways, endless possibilities. Then comes the 3-in-1 magnetic LED lantern. Flashlight, white lantern, warm ambient lamp. Magnetic tail, hanging hook, 5 modes including SOS, durable aluminum, IP65 waterproof. Rain or shine, your hands stay free and your campsite stays bright. When the air is still and the night is warm, meet the rechargeable camping fan and lantern. 360-degree illumination and adjustable fan speed for comfort and coolness. USB rechargeable, waterproof, hangable anywhere. Because adventure should never compromise comfort. And for those who demand versatility and distance, the 2-in-1 spotlight and lantern delivers. Adjustable spotlight beam, rotary lantern brightness, built-in hook and handle, 3 flashlight modes, USB rechargeable, ready for camping, emergencies, or late-night repairs. 2 lights, 1 tool, total preparedness at your fingertips. 6 lights, endless adventures, every scenario, every night, every journey, illuminated. From soft ambient glow to powerful precision beams, Lux Outdoors equips you with the confidence to explore further, stay safer, and experience the outdoors on your terms. Because darkness isn't the end of the story, it's the beginning of the adventure. Lux Outdoors. Light your journey your way.
Howdy, folks. Welcome back to another James Blackburn experience. Thanks a lot for tuning back in. As most of you know who watch on a regular basis, I have been a brand ambassador for the company Hipstar for a few years now. The first thing they sent me is right here on my left. It is the Hipstar hiking trailer. Wonderful piece of equipment. I've used it many times and I love it. But recently they sent me a brand new piece of gear, and that's on my right, the Hipstar backpack. Now it can be used as a backpack or it attaches to the trailer. So we're going to do a full review on the backpack today, but before we do that, let me tell you a little bit more about Hipstar.
With the Hipstar hands-free travel cart, you transfer the weight from your back to your hips using a comfortable harness, letting your gear roll smoothly behind you. No more shoulder strain, just hands-free freedom on any terrain, whether you're hiking, walking city streets, or navigating airports. Hipstar moves with you.
All right, the Hipstar backpack. This thing has a lot of options, a lot of compartments, and a lot of space. So allow me to tell you a little bit more about it.
The Hipstar backpack holds up to 85 liters of gear in rugged, waterproof polyester, yet weighs just 4.5 pounds. It pairs perfectly with your Hipstar hiking trailer, letting you transport gear hands-free or carry it on your back when the trail gets rough.
This backpack is awesome. I mean, check this out. There's a bunch of webbing here so you can clip on gear, as well as a huge pocket right here on the side. I mean, that thing goes down quite a ways. There's a lot of space in there. Love that. On the other side, same thing. There's a couple of pockets with webbing on it so you can clip stuff to the outside, but these pockets are a little smaller so you can get other gear in here. As you can see, this one here, it's also pretty deep, not as wide as the one on the other side. And then the same thing with this little pocket here. Nice. Lots and lots of space on just the outside alone. Here on the front, there is another pocket here where you can see the name. This pocket is also good size. You can fit a lot of gear in there. I really love that. And I'm noticing one other thing here. There's handles for carrying this thing if you're just wanting to move it. That is pretty cool. These handles are really stitched nicely and heavy duty. I love that. Now, on the outside here on the bottom also, you can see there's another compartment right here. Now, for me personally, I would probably put a sleeping bag, which I did. As you can see, I have a sleeping bag in that compartment already. I love that. That's really cool. Now here in the top, it's a top loading backpack setup, and we can open that up as well. And this thing is huge. I mean, seriously, it's just probably the biggest backpack I own right now. And it's a beautiful thing because it attaches to the Hipstar. I mean, so excited that this thing, this upper pocket here goes down really quite a ways as well. Tons and tons of room in here. I can't wait to get my gear in here and see how it all fits. That's going to be really fun. All right, folks, as I mentioned earlier, the Hipstar backpack is top loading. However, it's not the only way to get into the backpack. Allow me to demonstrate. Now I have the backpack leaning here, and there's a reason for that, because when you're out in the field, you can have it leaning on the ground like this, and you can get access to the lower lid or the back hatch, depending on what you want to call it. But it's right here. Check it out. This thing is great because you load from the top. But if you need something that's buried deep down the path, you got this little hatch right here, and you can get access to all your gear at any time while you're on the trail. So yeah, there you go, folks. The Hipstar backpack, the Hipstar trailer, a good combination. Amazing backpack. I am so excited to get to use this thing in the great outdoors. And I'm so excited to get to combo it with the Hipstar trailer. Now it sits right here, and there are straps on the top and on the bottom that hold it to the frame of the Hipstar trailer. I mean, look at this thing. It's perfectly balanced. It fits this thing as like a glove. It's completely awesome. And if you ever have to take it off the trailer because you get to some rough trail, check this out. Just like the Hipstar, it's got shoulder pads and shoulder straps. So check this out. So there you go. The Hipstar also is a backpack to wear. It's not just for the Hipstar trailer. So, all right, I am really excited about getting this thing out on the trail and testing it on an overnighter. I mean, this thing is huge. I can definitely get a multi-day amount of gear and food in here for a backpacking adventure. And we're going to get this thing packed up and outdoors on the next episode. So tune back in soon.
Hipstar, where travel meets adventure.
Good howdy, folks. Welcome to another James Blackburn experience. Thanks a lot for tuning back in. On my last episode, we did a complete review of the Hipstar backpack. Today, we're going to load it up with all the gear I need to go out and do an overnighter using the Hipstar backpack and the Hipstar hands-free travel cart. We're going to trudge through some forest and find ourselves a nice camp spot for the night. So stay tuned, because this is going to be a lot of fun.
With the Hipstar hands-free travel cart, you transfer the weight from your back to your hips using a comfortable harness, letting your gear roll smoothly behind you. No more shoulder strain, just hands-free freedom on any terrain, whether you're hiking, walking city streets, or navigating airports. Hipstar moves with you. The Hipstar backpack holds up to 85 liters of gear in rugged, waterproof polyester, yet weighs just 4.5 pounds. It pairs perfectly with your Hipstar hiking trailer, letting you transport gear hands-free or carry it on your back when the trail gets rough.
All right, folks, I've been out here hiking around for a while looking for the perfect place to camp. And I think I found it. The trusty Hipstar hands-free travel cart got me here. Piece of cake. It was really nice hiking with this. It allowed me to actually bring more gear than I would normally bring on a trip like this. So I brought some stuff to make sure I have comfort items as well as an extensive first aid kit, just in case. And this thing is loaded to the max, and I cannot believe how easy it was to get in here to this campsite. I'm really, really excited. So stay tuned, because next thing up, we're going to unload the backpack and we're going to get all our camping gear set up and ready before nightfall comes, because we're about a couple hours from sunset. So I need to get moving. So stay tuned. All right, folks, this campsite is awesome. It's much later in the day now. We're probably an hour from sunset, so you can see the long shadows. But I got to tell you, after hiking to get here and then setting up camp, I still feel really good. I'm not tired, I'm not achy, and I think that's because of the Hipstar and the Hipstar backpack. Being able to pull that behind me and keep the weight on my hips and not on my shoulders and my back, I feel amazing. I'm absolutely happy with the Hipstar, the trailer, and the backpack. Both are a great combination. However, you can use them separate from one another if you want. But for me today, the Hipstar backpack and the Hipstar hands-free travel cart together really came through for me. So, all right, I'm just gonna enjoy this campfire for a bit. All right, folks, that wraps up another Hipstar adventure. Being out here during the day when the beautiful weather was happening, it was in the 60s and sunny, which is crazy because it's December, but having the Hipstar and the backpack with me got me in here easily, no strain at all. I was able to bring some extra items and some comfort items, and now I got my campfire, my chair, and my tent ready to go. And here in a little bit, it's going to start to get dark, and I'm looking forward to that. But we're going to wrap up the video here, folks, and say go to hipstartrailers.com, check out their website. I am an official brand ambassador, but that's not the reason why I'm telling you about them. I'm telling you about the Hipstar hands-free travel cart and backpack because I love them and I use them, and they are really well made and they make my life easier. So you can't argue with perfection, and that is Hipstar. So thanks, folks, for watching, and as usual, love, love, hate, hate. Take care of each other.
Hipstar, where travel meets adventure.
Good howdy, folks. I'm James Blackburn, filmmaker, actor, and adventure seeker. I live in the American Southwest, and I'm surrounded by breathtaking landscapes and endless possibilities. My passion? Capturing life's beauty through lens and screen. From Red Rock canyons to Hollywood movie sets, I'm always on the move. Join me on my video adventures as I navigate the wilds of the entertainment industry and the great outdoors. Let's explore together.
Leaving the city behind. Our adventure begins with a simple 1-hour drive from Albuquerque. You start on Highway 550, rolling past mesas, arroyos, and wide open desert. And then, as if on cue, you turn onto a dirt road that leads you into the heart of the Ojito Wilderness. Now, when I say dirt road, I mean classic New Mexico dirt road. Most of it's friendly enough, but there's a few patches where a little clearance and a 4x4 are more than just a good idea. They're peace of mind. You can feel the world shifting as the pavement gives way to dust. The sounds fade. The air feels older. And suddenly, you know you're not in the city anymore. This is where the wilderness starts to whisper.
Good howdy, folks. Welcome back to another James Blackburn experience. Today's going to be a fun episode. First, let me introduce you to my good buddy Don here. You might recognize him from a few other videos that we've done together over the last few years. What do you think, Don?
Hi.
We are at the Ojito Wilderness today, and it is my 9th year being here, and this will be the 9th annual overnighter. And Don's got his own pack ready to go.
My first overnighter.
First overnighter on a backpacking trip. So that's going to be kind of fun. We're going to head out and down the trail here in a minute and just see where it takes us. And as I say in every video, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and here goes the single step.
The Ojito Wilderness beckons and calls us to cross the road to the official trailhead. So here we go.
Welcome back, everyone, to another James Blackburn experience. Today's episode is a special one because it brings together a rugged landscape, an old friend, and a brand new adventure.
All right, first hoodoo, about a quarter mile in, maybe a little less. I always stop and get a shot of it because it's beautiful.
We hit the trail with no fixed plan for where we'd camp for the night, and I love that. Some of my favorite memories are found on trails where the only plan was, let's see what we find. Half-mile in, we reached our first landmark, a place I call the Wave. Layered sandstone, shaped by wind and time, rising and swirling like frozen ocean currents. It's hard to walk past this place without stopping, so we did. We explored, we filmed, we photographed, trying our best to capture something that can never truly be captured. We're heading into the Ojito Wilderness, one of my favorite places on Earth, and joining me on this journey is Don, a longtime friend, but a first-time backpacker. That's right, his very first overnighter in the wilderness. There's nothing like watching someone discover the wilderness for the first time. It's like seeing a beautiful place through brand new eyes. And this trip, it turned out to be something truly memorable. You can always tell when someone's on their first backpacking trip. The pack feels heavier than expected, every step is an adjustment, and there's a quiet realization that you are now carrying your entire house on your back. The Ojito Wilderness doesn't scream for attention. It just sits there, layered, weathered, and patient. This land has been doing things for millions of years, and we're just passing through for the night, hoping we don't forget anything important, like snacks. A little farther down the hill, we reach the Hoodoo Pines, one of the strangest and most photogenic areas in the whole wilderness. Towering rock spires, scattered pine trees growing where they have no business growing, and views that stretch to forever. We dropped our packs here and took a well-earned break. Water, snacks, and a chance to laugh about the heat, the trail, and Don's thrift store backpack, which was doing surprisingly well. Sometimes when you're new to backpacking, you don't need the perfect gear. You just need the willingness to try, and Don came with plenty of that.
All right, first mile down.
Yep.
All right, folks, we made it to camp number 1, the Hoodoo Pines area. We took our packs off to take a little break and just assess the situation. Do we want to continue back another mile or so, or do we want to camp here? So we're just going to take a break here for a few minutes and then decide. So, yeah.
After sitting for a bit and taking it all in, we decided to push on. The Hoodoo Pines were nice, but we felt like the right campsite was still ahead of us. So we loaded back up and continued down the trail, exploring as we went, looking for the perfect spot to settle in for the night.
All right, we made it to Skull Rock, about a mile and a half in probably. Look at that, that is so awesome. And we're continuing this way.
We thought we might stop earlier, but nothing felt quite right. So we kept moving, exploring, scanning the terrain, and looking for a spot that felt like home for the night.
After about 2 miles of hiking and plenty of wandering, we found it. A beautiful spot right on the edge of a mesa. The view was endless. The sky felt huge. And an old barbed wire fence marked the edge of the area, giving our campsite its new name, Fence Camp.
All right, folks, we found our home sweet home for the night. This little end of the mesa area right here. We're gonna set up some tents, and then after camp is set up, we're gonna go do some more hiking and exploring of the Ojito Wilderness. But look at this big drop off over here and the view. How awesome is that? Those are the Jemez Mountains there north of us. Beautiful place.
It had everything a perfect wilderness camp needs. Flat ground, solitude, scenery, a good breeze, and that feeling. You know, the one you get when you just know you found the right place. We unpacked our gear and set up for the evening.
All right, so there you go. Sleeping bag. All right, folks, we've been sitting here in the shade for a little bit.
I brought my trusty Kelty external frame pack, a companion that has followed me through the great outdoors for over 25 years. Don used a pack he picked up at a thrift store, which honestly performed better than either of us expected. We pitched the tents, my old reliable 2-person Walrus, and the one-person Keltie I loaned Don. He brought his own sleeping pad and bits of gear, and I loaned him a sleeping bag to round out his first backpacking kit. It felt good. Simple, peaceful, and honest. A temporary home built with our own hands. This would be our little piece of real estate for the night. With camp established, we decided the day was far from over. So we grabbed our cameras, our water bottles, and our sense of curiosity, and headed farther back into the wilderness. The Ojito has a way of surprising you around every corner. One minute you're walking through open desert, the next you're surrounded by rock formations that look like they belong on another planet. What I love about backpacking with someone on their first overnighter is watching the shift happen. Somewhere between the trailhead and camp, the noise fades, expectations drop, and the experience becomes real.
Oh wow, that's cool. Some of these trees are gnarly from just being twisted and turned from the wind all these years. All right, folks, we've been seeing these stacks of rocks for a little while now and kind of following them. We weren't sure where it was taking us, but up ahead, there's like a little canyon or grotto or something that we're going to go explore. It looks really, really awesome from up here. But let's go down inside and see what we got. Wow. That is some chunky, beautiful rock there. Oh man, it'd be so cool if we found like a swimming hole or something, you know? Oh, there's moisture down here. Not much, but some. Okay. Maybe there's more beyond this spot. I'm not sure, but this is pretty cool.
This is usually the point in the hike where everyone silently does the math. How far have we gone? How far do we still have to go? And whether pretending we're not tired is still convincing anyone.
We wandered across hills, washes, and old cattle paths, discovering new shapes, new shadows, and pockets of wildflowers pushing up through the dust, bright yellow flowers standing proud against the rugged landscape. Not long after, we stumbled onto the remains of an old homestead, complete with a weathered windmill still fighting the wind, still standing guard over the land. We explored the crumbling walls, imagining people who once lived here, their hopes, their hardships, the long quiet days on this patch of desert. There's something humbling about standing in the ruins of a life long gone. It reminds you just how small we all are in the grand timeline of this place. Evening campfire magic. After our hike, we made it back to fence camp and gathered firewood. As the sun dropped lower, the sky lit up with deep oranges and fiery reds, a desert sunset in full glory.
There's something deeply satisfying about finally dropping your pack and claiming a small piece of wilderness as your own for the night. It's not ownership, It's more like a quiet agreement. We're here, we'll be respectful, and we'll be gone in the morning. As the sun starts to drop, the Ojito completely changes. The colors deepen, the wind settles, and everything slows down. This is the part you can't rush, and the reason we carry all the extra weight in the first place.
We settled by the campfire, letting the warmth soak into our tired muscles. I brought a simple string of lights and hung them around camp, just enough to make the place feel cozy. It gave our rough wilderness site a little personality, a little glow, a little magic. And then, as the final bit of daylight slipped away, the stars came out. Dinner came next. Mountain House dehydrated meals. I went with chicken and dumplings, a classic. Don's meal disappeared so quickly, we never actually confirmed what he picked, but judging by how fast he ate it, it must have been good. The Ojito night sky is something to behold. It's quiet, vast, and dazzling. It feels like the universe leans in closer, like it wants you to see a little more of its secrets. We sat there by the fire, watching constellations slowly drift overhead, laughing, talking, thinking, feeling the kind of peace you can't find anywhere else. Eventually, we turned in for the night. Temperatures dipped into the 50s, perfect sleeping weather. The desert was still, calm, and alive with possibility.
For Don, tonight's a first. First time sleeping out here, first time really hearing how quiet the desert wilderness can be, and once you experience that kind of silence, it tends to stick with you forever. Out here, there's little to no cell service, no notifications, and no real distractions. Just good company, a wide open sky, and the reminder that sometimes the best reset is simply stepping away from civilization.
The next morning, the world woke up slowly. The sun rose over the mesas, spilling golden light across the land. That early glow is something special, soft, warm, and full of promise. We stepped out of our tents, breathing in the cool air, and just stood there for a moment, watching, listening, and letting the world come alive around us. Breakfast was simple but satisfying, exactly what you want on a cool desert morning. Afterward, we slowly packed up our camp, carefully loading everything into our backpacks. No rush, just deliberate movements, one step at a time, savoring every last minute.
All right, good morning, folks. We are here at camp the next morning. We had some wonderful breakfast, and it's the packing up phase. You can see Don's already got his pack out on a big boulder there. He's going to town. We are going to pack up and hike about the 2 miles out to the parking lot. It was a great trip. It was awesome.
All right, folks, it's the next morning. We've had breakfast. We had a morning campfire. Beautiful views behind me. The sun's up in the air. It's about 70 degrees. And we are packed up and ready to head out. So we're going to put on our backpacks and head out that way, approximately 2 miles to the trailhead. It was a great trip. 2 thumbs up.
All right, Don, what'd you think, man?
It was pretty cool. My first backpacking overnight, and it went really good. We couldn't have asked for better weather, scenery. We got really lucky with didn't get too cold, not too windy. Food was good. Went really well. Very happy.
A hike out, slow and peaceful. The journey out was as peaceful as the day before on our way in. Warm sun, cool breeze, and that famous New Mexico blue sky stretching from horizon to horizon. We walked at an easy pace, stopping whenever the land asked us to, for photos, videos, or just another look at something beautiful. There was no hurry, just the joy of walking through a place that feels like home.
The hike out always feels different than the hike in. Your pack's a little lighter, your mind's a little fuller, and the trail feels familiar now, like it knows you. You're not trying to get anywhere anymore. You're just moving through something you've already shared, and it's a beautiful thing. Places like the Ojito Wilderness don't try to teach you anything. They don't lecture, they just exist. And somehow in that silence, you start listening more to the land, to the people you're with, and maybe even to yourself. Out here, nature doesn't demand attention, it rewards it. There's a certain honesty that comes from walking side by side with someone for miles. No distractions, no agenda, just shared effort and shared silence. Conversations drift in and out, jokes come and go, and what's left is something simple and real. Friendship doesn't need much out here. It just needs time. Community isn't always a crowd. Sometimes it's just a couple of people agreeing to carry a little extra weight together. You look out for each other. You check in. You keep pace. And without saying it out loud, you understand that nobody's doing this alone. Life is a shared experience, and we are all one big family. For Don, this hike means something different. It's proof that he did it, that the night passed, the gear worked, and the wilderness wasn't something to fear, just something to respect. Everyone remembers their first overnighter, because it quietly changes what you think you're capable of. Eventually the trail ends, the packs come off, and the world starts creeping back in. But the good stuff, the calm, the laughter, the sense of belonging, that comes with you. That's the real takeaway. Not the miles, not the views, but the reminder that connection still exists, if you're willing to walk far enough to find it. And that's why we continue to come back.
This marks my 9th annual overnight trip into the Ojito Wilderness. 9 years of sunsets, campfires, hikes, and quiet moments that have shaped who I am. And I plan on coming back as long as my body lets me. There's something ancient here, something deep, something that speaks to the soul. The Ojito Wilderness is more than desert and rock. It's history, it's beauty, it's connection. To me, it feels like stepping into a spiritual world that exists just beneath the surface of the modern one. Every visit leaves me with a little more understanding and a lot more gratitude. Thanks for joining us on this journey. Eventually, we reached the trailhead, loaded our packs into the truck, and began the short drive back to Albuquerque. Another adventure complete, another memory adding to the long story of the Ojito Wilderness.
Awesome, man. Good job. Good job.
Remember, folks, life is beautiful if you know where to look. So keep your mind, your eyes, and your heart open. It just might lead you somewhere special. please check out my channel for over 1,000 additional video adventures. Thanks for watching.